hello guys, how are we doing? Welcome to the stream. Hope we're all doing well. And excited for some StarCraft 2 today. I'm Wardy, might have guessed, being on the Wardy stream, unless you didn't know where you were. Me being Wardy definitely helps with that concept, so yo. What up? Cool, hello, how are we doing? Good morning, good morning. We are gonna go and play some StarCraft 2 in, believe it or not. Believe it or not. So today we've got a double whammy of tournaments. We're gonna go for the OSC mid-season playoffs initially, which is 4 best-of-5s from the lower bracket. And then we're gonna dip our toes into the Crank Team League once again. We're gonna go through the day 2 matches, which is the kind of like the elimination group stage. The teams that did not make the playoff bracket play a 3-way group today. That was a couple days ago. Again, we're days behind on the Crank Team League. It's going to remain that way as well, honestly. But yeah. So yeah, that's what's going on. Some StarCraft 2, and yeah, let's have a look at the OSC mid-season playoff bracket. Like I said, we're going to be behind the Crank Team League because I'm not going to be able to do any of it tomorrow. And then I'm away Saturday, Sunday, so we're going to probably catch up on a bunch of that next week. Yeah, it's going to take a little bit of time to set up too, basically. So, but yeah, for now, let's have a peek at the OSC mid-season playoff bracket. So, so far in this tournament, Solar and Max Pack sit in the winner bracket finals. We're not going to be seeing anything in the winner bracket today. We are just going to be focusing in on this lower bracket. So let's do the zoom. And these are the matches that are currently in the lower bracket. And we're very simply just going to do each match that you see that's already predetermined here. So obviously, you know, once a couple matches wrap up, yes, we'll be able to move into another series. But that's not what we're covering. We are covering Harstem versus Skillis, Geralt versus Spirit, Cristiana versus Trigger, and Cham versus Ryong. So that's going to be our 4 best-of-5s, and then, like I say, we'll move into the Crank League afterward, which means that overall it's quite a lot of StarCraft 2 today. So there's a couple PvPs, so maybe it won't be that crazy. But yeah, we're going to be starting off with Harstem versus Skillis, and outside of that being said, I don't really have much else to tell you guys. So let's get into some games. Let's go to ley lines for our first match of the day. Get started up and see what's going to happen. Let's do some StarCrafting, guys, in the bottom left-hand corner. As we start things off, we're going to have ourselves the Blue Protoss player repping the Shopify Rebellion and YouTubers around the world as he looks to continue to succeed while YouTubing. It is Harstem. In the bottom left, repping in the blue. In the upper right, in the red, we're going to have ourselves the Red Protoss player from Team Liquid, Skillis. As we get to our opening game of this best-of-5. So it's going to be some PvP to start the day. We've got 2 PvPs and then a PvT and a TVZ to go along it all. So it should be fun. Like I say, probably 3-4 hours of OSC mid-season playoffs. We'll kick into some Crank Team League further down the line as long as we can do so. Should be able to. Just we'll double-check when we get to the end of this, but I think we should be fine for the double whammy of content today. And you guys just get to sit back, relax, and I'll bring you guys all of the games. How lovely is that? Amazing. Amazing. What's also amazing is PvP openers. I always got to ask, is it going to be 2 gates or not? And you know, it's the kind of map where 2 gates is going to be pretty typical. Harstem, I think, would like to play some expansion stuff, but I'm not sure if he's going to get, you know, a chance to do it super greedily. So at least here we are going to start with 2 gateways each and just see where we take it from that kind of point. Of course, even with 2 gate openings on either side, there is still a chance for one player to be an aggressor. PvP is such a funny matchup like that where, you know, proxying a robo or throwing down 3-gate robo in base and being an aggressor is not limited to you doing that against, like, an expansion. As I think Harstem might just be looking for a proxy robo here, but yeah, it's not limited to you playing against an expansion, right? Like, these builds obviously are great against expansions because then you have the pressure advantage, but if your opponent also plays the no-expand, the 1-base, then a lot of the time there's ways to play out from these scenarios anyway, which makes PvP this very kind of weird matchup where cheesing is almost always viable, which is why you see so much of it, because obviously there's downside to these builds, right? But the downsides to these builds are very rarely, oh, my opponent did the thing where this build just doesn't work. You know? Because otherwise people would do that a whole lot more often to make sure that these builds just didn't exist and then they would never be played. So PvP really is that kind of funny matchup where you get away with these things. It's because it's a mirror matchup, and obviously things work similarly, and the way that both players can do the same thing here kind of evens it out to that situation as the Stalker will come down, chase the probe away out the front, and just push him back for the moment. Robo facility building on both sides of the map. We got ourselves a couple Stalkers on the way through the warp gate of the building, and we do get ourselves a little nibble and a grab right there, so that's going to be a KO. And it's going to be a Robo from Skillis in base. It's interesting because you'd think maybe the defensive Robo would be better off, but it is later. And one of the issues is just having map control is super powerful. Like, if you lose map control as Harstem, you lose your Robo, and that's terrible. But just having map control is so good because Harstem's 2 gateways aren't going to be in trouble, but Skillis' 2 gateways are going to be in trouble. So you really have the chance to do damage by being out on the map. And this proxy hence has a genuinely really good chance of doing something, despite the fact that this is going to be a maybe not so pretty scenario. This Immortal needs to get active and get busy, get after some of these Stalkers as we pop the barrier on it quickly. Prism on the way. Harstem's units are coming across as well. A couple Stalkers joining in. Skills took some damage here, but nothing too wild. He's running right over to that corner. I'm going to say he's like kind of cornered in here. He really believes he can get this Immortal, but the extra units of Harstem show up, which makes this a bad call from Skillis. All of a sudden, he's chased away, has to take a pawn. He's going to lose 2 more Stalkers with that turn. Yep, and that's terrible. If you're Harstem right now, I think you just leave this Stalk, honestly. He's got another one on the other side, so... Yeah, I mean, you want to start getting aggressive, right? The sooner the better at this stage, because you just killed a bunch of stuff from Skillis, and this is meaning that Skillis is in a world of trouble right off the bat. These Stalkers will continue to the main base and just try to counterattack as Skillis looks desperately to try and, you know, fix this problem. I like that Harstem already starts another pylon here. He's recognizing the issue that's about to come around. He'll pull some probes. He'll have a Stalker of his own next warp and probably comes back at home as well. And that's why having the pylon, you know, the extra pylon's so important, because he will get a chance to warp in, even if it is just for a single warp in. That's going to be, you know, still very helpful. Meanwhile, on the other side, the Immortal Stalkers and the Sentry push through. We knock down that pylon, and the reality here is that Harstem's army is way more powerful than what's on the other side. Doing a decent job with the Prism, but again, we've got to try and micro in 2 locations. The Immortal here of Skillis has 0 micro potential realistically, so it's just going to go down. And now we pull the probes in, and obviously you can see Harstem just going to micro his Immortal back. Skillis will say GG, and Harstem nets himself a Game 1 victory to start off the day. So Harstem gets himself the 1-0 lead, and yeah, comfortable little start from Harstem here to begin things. Hey guys, today's going to be replays. All day long is replays. We don't have a single live game of StarCraft 2 today. I know this happens sometimes. It's crazy. We don't cast from replays a lot, believe it or not. But today is one of the days where everything's replays. So what that does mean is that as long as I don't have impending ads of doom, then we can just kind of scoot along into the next game nice and quickly. And like I say, we've got lots of games to get through today, so we actually do kind of have the luxury of just setting that up. As we have ourselves in the top right-hand side, the blue Protoss player here is going to be Harstem. Taking on the bottom left red Protoss player, Skillis. Game 2 of our best of 5 then, as we'll see where we're going to go, what we're going to do, what the plan may be. Get settled in. A little bit of action here. Simulators on the way up. Structures establishing. Proby moving forward. And just going to drop another gateway down or so, most likely. So, double gates. Just going to go and get placed. Oh, single gate in here is Harstem? No, just a couple seconds later on the second gateway, so... Like I say, kind of expecting 2-gate versus 2-gate for the majority of this series. Depending on some of the maps that come up, obviously that could maybe change a little bit. You know, an Ultra Love, for example, would be a much more of a 1-gate expand kind of map, so there are possibilities to switch it up, but the baseline kind of expectation will remain as 2 gateways for the early stages. What's up, Jalea? How you doing? Thank you so much for the 55-month resub. GLHF to you as well. Thanks so much for the 55. Great to see you once again. Thank you for continuing to support the stream and the StarCraft. Hell yeah. We did have the big sub drop of doom as well, guys. Everything's of doom today, apparently. But we did have the big sub drop happening. I told you guys it was going to happen. The 700 subs was short-lived, but we got there, and now we just fight our way back again. So, you know, we'll work on that later. As our Stargate does go down to the top left-hand side, we're going to get that into place already. So Stargate dropping the sentry producing out of this gateway as well. Just going to get that straight on the way on the high ground. Build a nexus on the low ground. And this probe continues to take a little bit of a journey around to the top to try and again just see what exactly we might be able to do. Sentry, Warp Gate, Nexus all building up at the moment, so again we get all of that coming online. Stalkers and the Stargate coming up, the Warp Gate's still building. The Sentry is going to get there, knock down that probe. So that probe will also fall. And the other probe coming across here right now, heading over that right hand side. As yo, what's up, Spawns Revolution? Thank you so much for the fresh new sub. Appreciate it. Thanks for hitting that button and supporting the channel. I appreciate you. Thank you for being so generous to give us some money today. Thank you. As Skillis is going to be generous to Harstem and just oracle him up. These naughty players as well, by the way. Look, there's no game heart mod. Tut, tut, tut. Harstem, as a YouTuber, should know better. Can you imagine I gave Harstem games with no observer mod? Like, he would lose his mind. Actually incredible, this guy. Every time. And I bet, you know, if we asked him, I bet he'd blame it on Skillis as well. I bet he would. Alright, Oracle has a very unsuccessful start as the sentries get in position immediately, so that does absolutely nothing. The hallucination will confirm. The Stargate building a second Oracle, so you know it's double Oracle. I mean, good information to have, but fairly well-assumed info anyway. As we now just see two Stalkers and the two Sentries making their way out down the bottom side. This hallucination is just going to track Oracle 2 so you can have a rough idea of where things are at and where we are going, where we are setting up, and so on. And the hallucination is going to keep poking a little bit. The probe goes down on the natural as well. And just going to be able to get rid of that nice and quickly. The Twilight Council will build here from Skillis, so that's going to be his follow-up tech choice. Harstem is still yet to tech, no? Am I crazy? He's just on 2 gateways. So that's so weird, because so often what happens is that... And yeah, he's kept making units, but what usually happens if you open Stargate is then your opponent, a lot of the time, this is not always what happens, but a lot of the time you open Stargate, your opponent plays Twilight Council, right? And if your opponent plays Twilight, usually when you play Stargate, you're a little bit behind on Blink, and usually it feels pretty okay, because it's like, well, I'm actually like 15 seconds behind on Blink, but hey, I've got 2 Oracles to harass with. Now in this game, Harstem is doing nothing, and his Twilight Council is going to finish, and the Stargate player is going to end up with the Blink advantage. So I don't know where it's kind of gone wrong here from Harstem, or what was going on, or what was happening. But I think there's been some miscue somewhere. Maybe he has just overbuilt units, and maybe he truly just intended on attacking, and he's just not found that opportunity. But either way, like, this puts him in a pretty miserable position, because, like, now Skillis has the advantage of double Oracle, and he has the advantage of the Blink timing. Now, there are things Harstem's ahead in. His work count is solid, 5 worker lead right now. As this pro, we do not have the minerals to do anything useful there, so we'll just go down to the Oracles in an open space. The gateway coming up, the Blink still on the way through. Going to drop the battery down onto the natural expansion, and the few Stalkers around the bottom still making moves around. Going to collect together, just get a Stasis Ward into the center, set up as well. One Stasis Ward to the left-hand side, going to do the exact same thing. I mean, these Stalkers just run up third base taking. I mean, you got map control right now. Why the hell would you not take the third base? Skillis just going to, you know, take that into his favor. And it's not like Harstem's looking to be overly aggro against the third base either. He is building Stalkers, yes, and his army count is good, but he's building a Forge, he's building an extra gate. Like, it looks like he wants to play a longer game, in which case his own third should come down. It's just coming down delayed to Skillis, and Skillis just truly leads this game in pretty much every aspect here early on. He really is in just a fantastic space. In the first 6 minutes of Tokamak, he's really manipulated this game into his favor. As the Guardian Shield shall pop up and move around a little bit. The couple Oracles up around the top side as well. Going to fly in toward the natural and begin to go after a few of these probes. So a couple probes go down, drop a little cheeky revelation down as well. Stalker and the +1 still building up. The rest of the Stalkers coming across that left-hand side. Robot Facility and Forge coming online for the moment, getting that all rolling. A couple of gates coming through. Again, we have the Adepts and the Charge continue to build into play as we collect together. Stalker Sentry at the front will gather. Start up a hallucination, and he's obviously going to be able to give us a lot of information and vision here as well. As these stalkers continue over, we actually try and blink after the hallucination. We'll not really be able to get there, so hallucination lives. And those double oracles still going to preserve map control as well. Again, don't be wrong, there's ways in which Harstem's been fine here. Now he's on a faster +1 upgrade. His work count is still dead even as well, so he's actually been really good in the economy. I mean, I've been saying now as doom and gloom for Harstem, but to be honest, like, he's just been at some disadvantages, and I thought Skillis might have been able to do more with the advantages, and that's just not, in the end, really being the case, so... Just see the cleanup over there, as we try to get an Adept or so in. Skillis still has stasis wards that are going to help him to kind of control the map a little bit if Harstem wanted to move out with +1 lead, for example. The Skillis is just teching right now. Temple Archives, a couple more gateways, continue to put himself in a better position for the longer term of this PvP. 2 more Stalkers warping in, the hallucination out the left-hand side, and the Stalkers just come up, still in the center, making their own way around. We continue to add on an Immortal, we continue to add on the +1 upgrade. That will be true on both sides. Skillis has charge? Yes, Skillis does have charge. He's starting to add Zealots as well, so he's stepping into the next stage of the game where Harstem is not. The 4th base, obviously, Harstem just got cancelled. Skillis is trying to get up too. There's advantages, there's slight differences. Like the +2 is obviously nice from Harstem being ahead. The Dark Shrine is going to open some aggressive opportunities, perhaps. And it's not like Harstem's going to take forever to get charge if he wants charge. He's just not making a play for that at all yet, right? In fact, Harstem's not making a play to really tech up in the slightest. His tech is going to be Archons, if anything. He's not adding Immortals, he's not adding Archons. He is truly just playing heavier and heavier into the Stalker count, which can work. It's a very active army style that's going to be moving a lot around the map, obviously trying to trade efficiently with your blinks to keep the Stalkers alive, using that mobility to set up, to kind of set up yourself into advantageous positions and just get a couple of picks and then back away freely. I think this one Stalker leading just in case there's another stasis ward out. He's going to see the prison there. That one Stalker kind of spoils it because he maybe could have sniped that otherwise. It's going to be weird. Harstem's going to make a dive through. The problem is he's potentially going to walk into this stasis that catches only a couple of units, really. I'm afraid that the army of Skillis is going to show up, and Harstem's going to be in trouble. I think he's just going to drop the recall. Kills the base, tries to get out. He'll escape over the right side for now. Yeah, he's making a getaway, man. Killing a couple of Zealots as he goes. He will lose Stalkers here. Like, Zealot charges will catch up. Harstem's army supply is down by about 20. These units spawn out, they die as well. The counterattack here from Skillis is going to be terrifying. I wonder if it would have been better for Harstem just to try drop the recall right there. Like, he killed some units in the retreat, but I wouldn't say it was that many. I mean, killing that base was nice, but again, you've got to face the consequences now, which it was an expensive base kill. And the issue with Harstem's army is it needs to kind of be all over and keeping Skillis busy. So when he just lost a bunch of units, he no longer has that ability to keep Skillis busy. Now Skillis is going to be able to step forward, and his stronger army is going to really be able to show itself, really show its prowess, and just show that it is truly something that can step forward and be super, super powerful as these Zealots. They're going to step right through. GG, says Harstem, and Skillis is going to take game number 2 of this best of 5. And we get tied up 1-1 in the series. Alright, so it's 1-1 in this PvP as we head ourselves into a game 3 here in a couple of moments. We'll just drop ourselves a minute of ads in and then we'll get ready for that third map, guys. So, yeah, Harstem is getting into a bit of a weird spot there, getting into a bit of a weird place. And we'll get ourselves ready to roll in a moment or two. Game 3 coming up to get this ready to start. Forgot his proxy robo. Yeah. Rookie error. Yeah, I'm not sure what happened at the start of that game. It did feel like the start was a bit off, but honestly, he was in a fine position. He just made a dive on the Nexus that wasn't worth it. Like, I think it was always clear that I think he had to kill the Nexus and recall, and maybe if he dropped the force fields and then just made a play, maybe what he could have done is drop the force fields, go to the natural, and maybe he could have killed the natural and then recalled. Because the force fields would have bought you a lot more time initially, and maybe that would have stopped the Zealots catching you, and maybe you can kill the natural, but at that point you're really theorizing a lot of different things and like trying to put a lot of different things in motion in your mind at once, so more easily said than done a lot of the time in that regard. As we're going to dive into our next game here, which will be Maganatha, as we are tied up 1-1 in the best of 5. So with it being all tied up, we are going to have ourselves a series on our hands for sure. In the bottom right corner, we have ourselves a blue Protoss player. It is going to be Harstem. Had that 1-0 lead, it slipped away from him. Let's see if he can grab it back and get himself to a 2-1 advantage in this lower bracket match. Of course, elimination on the line for whoever loses out here. The winner will get to move through to play the winner of our next series up, which is Geralt versus Spirit. Again, we'll not see the winner's match of this today, but that will be next time on mid-season playoffs from OSC. In the top left, our red Protoss player is going to be Skillis. Still fun to see Skillis. He's still playing and still get to being very good. It's fun to see him taking part. He reached out to me recently. He was asking about the 2025 qualifiers and asking if it was possible to have any of them be on an evening or a weekend. So we're going to adjust some of those dates a little bit to make some of them a little bit more achievable, because Skillis does work nowadays. So yeah, that's something we'll be editing. So yeah, Skillis very much so out here looking to compete, looking for the chance to play, and pretty much anything that comes around. Work, shock. Yeah, I know, crazy. It's not a bad idea. Get something a bit more stable alongside your StarCraft winnings. Skillis always had that very unfortunate kind of aspect of never quite being consistent enough, right? Skillis really kind of, I think at points was good enough to be one of the very best in Europe, and probably was one of the very best in Europe. The problem is consistently kind of being at that very top level is hard to do, and then he never really had those big breakthroughs back to back where he was able to take down like Clem and Reno in the same tournament, for example, right? To grab a win or something along those lines. And yeah, I mean that's just what happens so often in StarCraft 2. We really have some dominant guys at the very, very top. Breaking into that top area and winning events and so is extremely difficult to do, and you know, very few people struggle to get the consistency to be able to do that at all because we're playing at such a high level. I think it's Skillis. He's going to play the proxy robo this time around. Fun position in the bottom left. It's not super close, but it is, you know, toward his opponent's base. Like, I mean, yeah, like I say, it's not the closest, but it will get the job done most likely. As Harstem going to open Stargate on one base. That sets him up for a good defense. We'll see what he plays. Oracle would be the typical kind of blind opening here. Once he knows what's up, Oracle into Phoenix is going to be very powerful. The Phoenix being able to lift up the Immortal and take out the fight, or the Phoenix being able to zone out the Prism and stop that from dropping in Micron is a big deal as well. I say lift up the Immortal, even if this is not an Immortal and it's just Stalkers. Phoenix lifting Stalkers is a big deal too. Any unit you're able to take out the fight, even, you know, short term, is going to be a pretty huge factor. So I gotta imagine that that's going to be a thing we keep track of. As a couple Stalkers move off the Watchtower. We have ourselves the Prism, still on the way up. Warp Gate coming through. Oracle and the Zealot on the way up as well, as we drop down a cheeky little Robo Facility over on this main base. So Robo Facility comes down. Stalkers are going to step across the map, heading down to the bottom. And this Prism going to gather in, and I lift a couple of these Stalkers into position as well. So we'll see what these first 4 Stalkers can do. Harstem is just one base, so he is going to be defensively positioned for now. He is getting his Robo behind the Stargate, so he can just go into an Immortal instead. He may not want to go for a Phoenix at all here. And this is where Skillis might just settle for kind of poking at that front kind of pylon and gateways and taking advantage of the map control. And then, you know, looking to just expand himself back at home, providing he deals with the Oracle well. There's the Stalker stepping up from Skillis. Here's the Oracle flying in from Harstem. There are 2 Stalkers at home, so they shouldn't be able to do much. Doesn't even activate it initially. And that first pylon goes down, actually depowers the gate on the left-hand side. Skillis is just going to step up here and hit the battery, so that dies very quickly. Now, there's another battery off to the right. It will reach some of the units and heals that Zealot up, for example. Void Ray on the way is going to help you defensively. Supply block from Harstem. Losing that first pylon's hurt him a lot. As, yeah, he's heavily supply blocked. Only just started pylon now. It's kind of a really big critical error. When you've got one pylon exposed, you're going to want to keep making units in this scenario. I mean, this pylon is going to finish, like, now. This Immortal has been in production for so long. Imagine this Immortal was over halfway done. This feels so much better for you at this point in time. It feels so much safer. Yeah. Do you once again come up this ramp with the Stalkers. Push into the main base. Going to get a probe. Going to go after the pylon. Force field comes down. Stalkers get turned the other way. The Void Ray going to get healed up a little bit by the battery. I'm just going to see the rest of the probes pulling over, continue to try and trade. It's going to see the Void Ray still active and still going after said Stalkers a little bit. The Immortal chasing through, and the Void Ray still there to try and again push the Stalkers back for the moment. Sentry warps in, Sentry, Stalker, Immortal all building up. A couple of Adepts and the Sentry still building through. The Immortal Corona boosting out of this Robo facility. Oracle will activate and a couple of probes going to go down. So we're going to see a few workers dying. So this Oracle actually gets some value in the end. It's going to be a 6-kill Oracle, really not bad in the end. So Skillis is taking economic damage. With an Immortal out, Harstem is way better off defensively. Now has himself the second Immortal building too. The Adepts are going to get some probes in return, which will even up the numbers a little bit. And Skillis is going to take the chance to step up this ramp and get more damage onto the gate. Force field forces the Prism to micro backward. And with the second Immortal, one Void Ray, I don't see Skillis really doing much else. And he never expanded. I really felt like he was going to go for more of a, hey, I've got a contain on you. I'm going to start expanding, you know, especially after the start. You already killed a gateway, and so maybe that encouraged him to go for more. But, yeah, I mean, at this point, as Harstem gets another Immortal out, I'm wondering maybe it's worth Harstem just getting a Prism. So he has a little bit more micro potential, just in case. I'm looking at that Sentry, and yeah, another Sentry warps in. I actually think we're very near to the point where Skillis wants to get like a big force field down, lock an Immortal away, and start picking off units like that. So I'd love to see the Prism for Harstem next. I think 3 Immortals is a great baseline, and I think the ability to have some micro, get those Immortals out of tricky spots is going to be extremely valuable very soon. But right now, this is looking like a defense, and the longer that we go without it being any further damage done from Skillis, the better this looks for Harstem. He's only 7 army supply behind. You do see the Prism now on the way up, so Harstem agrees 3 Immortals is a great baseline. Just make sure they don't get caught by force fields, and we're going to be golden. And yeah, I think Harstem is on his way to a great position here. Now that said, it's still 1 base each. And Skillis obviously is adding Immortals of his own, so they're going to end up on similar kind of armies soonish. Guess we'll see if anything else happens. Just going to have the gateway taking some shots. We fire a few more hits through. Extra Stalker getting warped in. And Prism loads 1 Immortal up. We're going to dare to go across the map. He might. Oh, good force field. And Skillis didn't realize it. He wasn't watching. So he actually loses the Immortal there that gets force fielded in. He's just like, oh yeah, my units are down the ramp. I'm going to go home and macro for a moment. Boom, the force field is landed and does a lot. Skillis, if he gets in with these Adepts, might see the fact that there's no units here because the Prism is going across the map with the 2 Immortals. It's a little risky, but it is an option you have. I love that we're building an extra Void Ray as well. I mean, right now, just build out, all the tech units, all the power forces, anything that keeps you in a comfortable spot here. Obviously, Army can't move up the ramp fully because of the Sentry force field available defensively for Harstem. And there are only 2 Stalkers over here, man. These Immortals have a lot of potential to just get damage done. They're going to go straight to these Stalkers too. Oh, we're going to recall. We're recall, and Harstem seeing the recall might want to pull away. Yep, he sees the recall. Time to just get out. And he does exactly that. Now that Harstem has forced the recall, he might be able to go hunting for this Robo. It is really in a very awkward place, and you have no idea where it is as Harstem either, so it would be nice to get rid of the Robo, but more easily said than done. Like, you know where it is, it goes down, but yeah, it's in the middle of nowhere. That's just a hallucination, so keeping track of the Prism and just trying to tell where that Immortal drop might be heading to as Harstem straight down the ramp is going to take his expand. Looks like Skillis still has aggression in his mind as he is going to come forward, and he's going to break Harstem down. Now, if that Prism's out of position with those 2 Immortals, that's going to be a big deal. There's not going to be any batteries on this low ground either, so that will also be a factor in this. That said, there are 3 Void Rays, there are 3 Immortals, and that combination is pretty decent, realistically, so kind of get the feeling that we're going to be kind of okay, to be honest. Let's see. As a couple of Adepts move through, the Guardian Shield pops up. Instant kill on the Prism. That's going to do it, I think. That means it's defense. Harstem's Void Ray is not going to do bonus damage to the Sentries with Prismatic Alignment. Would be nice to get rid of the Sentries, because, man, the Guardian Shield helping a bit. Yeah, it's going to be a defense very comfortably. Knock that Prism down straight away. The Force Fields cut the army in half, and Harstem gets a comfortable defense to retake the lead of the series, and he is now up 2-1 in this best of 5. So Harstem got to be feeling pretty darn good about that, as we'll head straight to a map 4 to keep the games rolling here today, guys, in the OSC mid-season playoffs, the 2nd of the year. And getting towards the last few players at this stage, so I mean, there's 2 left in the upper bracket, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I guess we're getting to the point where we're like top 8-ish. in the tournament if you win this. So yeah, very exciting stuff is in the bottom right corner. Freshly donned, the leader of the series once more. It is going to be the blue Protoss, Harstem. A little bit concerned, like I said, that supply block was pretty nasty and so, but he got through it. So imagine how good it would have been without the supply block. A little bit more preparation there would have been great, because that just made his life a little bit, more difficult for a few moments. On the top left side, we are going to have ourselves the red Protoss player, Skillis. While simulators come down, the gateway will produce. We'll get that underway. Hope building right now, as we do have a little scout across the map from Skillis moving up here on Incorporeal. Just to see a little bit of what's going on early. Gets into the main base, gonna check around to see what's up. And yeah, a couple of gateways gonna come down on either side. Just getting all of that going. Cybercore in production. Probe coming through. Again, a lot of that underway right now. Probably just going to sit over on that right-hand side. And it's going to get a little cheeky. So pylon there, obviously it's not really super proxied, it's more just hidden. And I imagine Harstem is just trying to sell this as something it's not. Putting the pylon nearby, it gives you a bit of vision toward the main on a drop path. So it's a useful pylon that right now just acts as like a, hey, there's a pylon missing from my base. That could be anywhere. In this case, it's not a threatening pylon. So yeah, a bit of a mind game pylon here to begin with. In game 4. A couple stalkers in the warp gate coming online. Probe on the way through. Steps about, Stalker coming online, sentries coming through. And see our robo facility coming up in the main base. We get that going. Okay, building. And the Stalker just looking to get toward the probe. But now we're just going to knock that down. Drop our Nexus into place. Just gonna get that going, centering the warp gate coming online. We have ourselves the units just settling. Obviously, Harstem faster expand here on the 2 gateways. And Skillis gonna go for the 3rd gate with that robo, so he's gonna look to put the pressure on this game. So this game he's gonna get the pressure against a faster Nexus. Now Harstem goes robo defensively behind it, so that's gonna set him up well, but he will be delayed on the robo units compared to his opponents, so there is going to be that edge for Skillis. Skillis' setup should give him a little bit of something to work with here. As those few Stalkers continue to gather together and sit at the front. Stalker Sentry will join up. Just going to be seeing a couple of batteries still on the way through. Robo Facility Nexus building as well as we take a few moments. Drop down that battery, get that Sentry on the go. Stalker still settling in right there, as we just have, again, Robo Facility about finished, a couple batteries coming through, Immortal coming up. Prism is going to step toward the front here, just going to have a little bit of an unload. The Stalker's getting ready, get rid of the probe instantly. Yeah, the Stalker's going to take a chance to step forward. Just going to come straight into this. Sentry Stalker going to go back and forth for a little bit. And good force fields to buy you some time initially as Harstem. First Immortal is now out, so that's going to be a factor in this fight already, which is amazing. Exactly what you want to see, getting your big units into play. As we are going to try and dive forward, looking for that Immortal, but not enough really gets forward. We did put a lot of damage on the Prism, which means it's low, but not dead. That Immortal is surviving for so long. So many Stalkers are going down as we lose damage output. Does the Immortal even die? No, it does not. Oh my goodness. The 1 HP Immortal that will not die as Harstem is going to hold that Immortal just didn't want to die. GG, the hero immortal. I'll get a replay on that one. That was sick. So the forces come down. Harstem forces him back, so we're going to see the second attempt. So basically, Skillis already decides to dive the immortal. Harstem targets the prism, which is really rough because now that that's low, that's going to be really difficult to use in the fight. Like, even if you don't kill this prism, it's whatever. This force field is great because it buys you all of these stalkers now have to walk all the way around to get to this immortal instead. So that just means it does nothing. We already lose one. We're going to lose another stalker over there. I mean, now this immortal takes the first volley. These stalkers are taking a bunch of damage because they're now taking damage off this. The micro is non-existent because Skillis is probably afraid of having the prism nearby on low HP, so he runs it away to the main. And because we're just losing stalkers, it just so happens that it's just not quite enough damage. It goes to 1 HP, and then the damage output is not there. And obviously these 4 stalkers won't get it done in the main base. Wow. What a defense from Harstem. Beautiful stuff as he takes the 3 and 1. Here are sentries really. Yeah, the sentries were a big part of that, but hey, the Immortal's the guy that took all the damage, you know? He's the one who comes out of there, you know, battered and bruised and bleeding. Sentry's just in the back being like, I did this. Nobody knows it, but I did this. It was actually such a good force field to stop those stalkers coming around that nexus, because then the Immortal dies, and then I think Harstem's still probably okay, but obviously this made it an extremely convincing defense in comparison, you know? Storm554, thank you so much for the 3-month resub on the Prime. Much appreciated. Thank you for priming us up today. Glad you're enjoying some OSC mid-season playoff action with us. Now we're going to be starting with Spirit versus Geralt in just a couple of moments, guys. We'll just give it a minute or two on the ads. And we'll get ready for the next matchup. So Harstem advances. Skillis is eliminated in the OSC mid-season playoffs. Harstem advancing through to, like I said, I believe it's top 8. Yeah, it's the top 8. Just double check that. Yeah, so it's top 8. The only thing that's not going to be moving through the top 8 today is the Cham Ryong series is 1 round earlier than the other matches we're casting. So that would move people through the top 12. But yeah, that's Harstem advancing to the top 8 of this competition. Geralt or Spirit to play next for him. Going to be interesting to see how that pans out. That should be a lot of fun as well. So I have something else for us to watch for in the near future. But yeah, when that comes around, probably next week or so on the OSC mid-season playoffs. Like I say, for now, we're going to head on into Geralt versus Spirit, and then we're going to be going back to PvP in the form of Cristiana versus Trigger. And then we have the Cham Ryong series to round us out on this first tournament of the day before we move into some other content. So that's what's going on, guys. Again, thanks for joining us. Appreciate you being here. And let's enjoy some games. Love it. I went back to bed this morning. I had an extra nap. I'm feeling so much better casting today because of it. Like, I feel good. The last couple of days I've been freaking tired and slow, and I can feel my focus is not there, but yeah. Feeling feeling good right now. Exciting. Do 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 do. Do I get post-lunch tiredness? I don't think so, because usually I have my lunch before I cast. So, not really. Trying to stay up past midnight every World Series game, including a 2 a.m. Oof. 18 innings, huh? Crazy business. I don't know how crazy that is. It's just I'm pretty sure that's twice as many as you meant to play in a game of baseball. But yeah. All right, we are gonna go into the top right corner of the map. It is going to be the orange Terran player. For our second series of the day, it is going to be Spirit. In the bottom left, our blue Protoss is going to be Geralt as we get into game 1 of this best of 5. So, Hecate going to be our map, one of the maps from the extended map pool that OSC plays with. We've obviously done a lot of OSC content lately, so you might be familiar with this, but just in case anyone is not, the OSC map pool is basically the 9 ladder maps, and then 3 additional maps get voted in for each OSC season by players and others who are involved with OSC. This season's maps are Hecate, Golden Aura, and Ancient Sister. So yeah, those are the 3 additional maps. This is one of them. I mean, we talked about this map a lot already as well. I really love this map. It's super pretty. It's the kind of map that you like to see coming back. You know, it got played, but it didn't get overly played. It was a good macro kind of standard map. Like, you know, I see like a Golden Aura, and I'm like, okay, I liked Golden Aura at its time, but Golden Aura never excited me because we saw it all the time. It was a macro map, right? Hecate just has something like a bit different to it. You know, it had a little bit more. It's just pretty. It's laid out a little bit more interestingly in my eyes. So I love seeing Hecate return. Every time we get to see a map on this, a game on this map in this tournament, it's been a pleasure. So yeah, glad to see this one back as we open this series up. Spirit Geralt, I'll just say really. I mean, what do we think of this? Spirit probably a favorite. Spirit's been playing really well lately. Geralt can absolutely take Spirit down. The fact it's the best of 5, I think, works against Geralt a little bit. I think I'd favor him more in a best of 3. Taking 3 maps off Spirit is tough, because Spirit is such a good all-around player lately, and especially with the way that Spirit likes to play and the way that Terran is right now in this new patch, Spirit's kind of preferred playstyle overall probably got buffed. Now, you don't need to be as aggressive over Terran, although I think Spirit still will be, because there's still advantages to being aggressive, because you don't then have to try and live through the mid-game if you succeed early. But the fact that you can be way more competitive later game as a Terran right now, I think is going to be absolutely huge. And I think that's the exact kind of thing that, that Spirit's going to love, as we do see a Reaper go down for the Stalkers. The 2 Reapers take that trade just before the other Stalker got there as well, so able to make that a getaway for the first Reaper. Oh, sorry, the second Reaper. As now the second Stalker shows up, the SCV will try and make a getaway, doesn't manage it. The Stalker at least gets an SCV out of this push forward, and 2 Marines about to spawn. Will start to play defense here, try and keep this Stalker away for the next little bit of time. Instant building up, Marine Marauder on the way, the factory coming through, the orbital building online. We get a lot of that on the go right now as we just have ourselves the gateway building at the front. The Reaper actually across the map trying to go after a couple of different probes at the moment. The Adept will jump to the high ground, and so the Reaper will jump to the high ground, the Adept will chase it, and we will get that Reaper cleaned out. Information's kind of gathered here, though, from Spirit, right? He sees what's at the front. He doesn't see this Robo coming down. He maybe didn't see the Twilight Council. He did not, but he saw another Stalker, and the more Stalkers you see, the more likely that Twilight is anyway. So, at the end of the day, it's not like Geralt's doing anything super weird that Spirit really needs to be aware of either. He's playing pretty standard stuff, so I think he's kind of fine for the moment, as this Adept will try and make its way around the top of the map and look to see if it can find some info in these early stages. So Adept moving up top. Now as the Stimpack Combat Shield, 2 Marines and the Starport coming up, Reactor on the way along as well. The Marauder and the Marines pulling back for a little bit, and just maybe having the Adept trying to make a shade through. Coming straight by, those few Marines will get after the Adept, and the Adept falls, so that's actually going to be a great catch. Adept going down there, and the Stalkers now take a little bit of a spin. They're going to continue up through the center. Stimpack and Combat Shield continuing online. Marines and a Medevac in production as well. And Stalkers going to be hanging about. We're just going to be having our bio. Just going to try and punch back a little bit as we have nice chance to stim. Stalkers, some of them on cooldown on Blink, so I think we might get one. We do. It's kind of an expensive stim. That's like all of the bio units minus 10 HP, right? Like, stim does have that cost at the end of the day, so yeah, getting a Stalker is nice, but it does lower these Marines, and it forces the medevac to instantly be healing the moment you come out. Come across there, and you go from there. Alright, the Marines and the Marauder will just gather. We see the Stalkers on the right side and take a few more shots. And a few extra Stalkers heading down to the bottom side. The charge coming online, the concussive shells producing. We do get a few more Marines building out of the barracks here, so just going to get those out. The Marauder's building too. The double drop will try and get into some position right here. Probably in the main base, actually in a cool position. Geralt did not see this initially. He just blinked forward onto the map as well. Of all the things he could have killed here, I feel like the Cybercore is one of the least exciting. Right at the moment of the game where your opponent's literally moving from Stalkers to Zealots, killing the Cybercore, like, yeah, you gotta rebuild it. Yeah, it's the thing that's furthest on the edge, so it's the easiest thing to touch, but it's high HP. He probably could have stimmed deeper, and even getting pylons, I think, might have been more exciting here than the Cybercore, to be honest, so yeah, kind of like a whatever drop in the end. Good opportunity, doesn't find much with it. Spirit will build his third command center on location, so important that the next minute and a half he's able to keep kind of going here, basically keep action going for the next minute and a half and just keep Geralt from being on the map, because he wants that third base to come up and online. Obviously, has the drop back in the main base. Like, Geralt apparently just didn't think there was a possibility, didn't have anything nearby. Two Zealots warping in are going to get killed off as they try and warp, and as these units pull into the main base to play defense, the dive onto the third is going to be a very real factor. That's going to be a dead pylon. This might be a dead Nexus, dare we say it? If you right-click it and just go for it, then yeah, maybe. The units were all the way over in the main base. Zealots left there. So it's a dead Nexus. I mean, this is horrible for Geralt. Damage done in the main base. Third Nexus dies. We do not lose... I was going to say anything on this right side. We'll lose 2 Marines. They forgot to get into the medevac. Silly guys. Actually making a pretty good attempt at getting away with the run, but much more difficult than if they'd just gotten in the medevac and they die in the end anyway. So a terrified runaway is going to turn into something. It just doesn't matter, as the bio unit's still going to gather around, and we just have the Woodamine setting up defensively for the moment. We have the Ghost Academy coming through, the couple of barracks still building as well, and just having the Vikings Marauders and the +1 upgrade continue to build up also. Alright, a little bit of bio still setting up. Just going to be seeing the Observer still flying by, looking to see if it can spot anything going on in this game. +1 in the extended thermal lance coming through as well. As that Ghost comes through, the Vikings on the way, the +1 just finished. We have a few Stalkers already sat over to the left-hand side. We're going to put one more pylon down into place. Again, +1, extended thermal lance, all coming straight forward. As the Chrono Boost on this Robo facility is going to come out over to that right-hand side. Look to put some damage onto the right side. Look to put some extra units onto this right side as we have re-established the third. Only just finished up. As you can see, the probes are still long distancing, just now getting back and starting to mine properly. We have 2 more Ghosts just in production there, make it 3 with a couple of Vikings on the way as well, so bringing a lot of that through. We're going to get back toward the top. We will have our Zealot. Going to position around the left side as well, trying to see where we can go to. Maybe looking for a push onto that command center. So let's get Grabbed, and now just going to try and make a move up toward this high ground position, so a chance to maybe move through over here. Ghost about to be done. Marine Marauder Viking coming up. Starport is building. Observer just hanging out. A couple of Ghosts move through. Again, we get our army over to that left-hand side. The probe nearby. Couple Disruptors building into place. Take a chance to move through. the bottom left-hand corner. I mean, Spirit obviously took himself in a good big lead earlier. The numbers are evening out a bit, but then, you know, the overall numbers maybe, but it's still a 6-worker lead for Spirit. He's got a 4th base on the way. You know, Geralt is not taking any good control in this game, and it's basically these Colossus that are hoping to do, you know, work magic here. Disruptor shots from the side. We actually deny one. The double disruptor flank was kind of a coolish idea. This is an ugly fight. The Stalkers are fighting Bio. The Vikings are just free-raining on the Colossus. The Zealots actually got stuck coming down the ramp as well. So they got stuck trying to move through. So that's just a disaster on top of everything else. And that would look to be GG, I would say. This 4th base is going to go down. The supply really just tells the tale. Maybe losing your 4th one, you know, itself wouldn't lose the game, but losing every unit you have pretty much, especially the important ones, there ain't no sticking around in this one, and Geralt very much so knows it. He says the GG. Spirit will take game 1. That will be us off to a 1-0 start for our Terran player in this best of 5. We're going to be heading to Persephone for map 2. We'll go there in just about a minute or so, guys. So that is on its way. So, Spirit, Geralt, second map on Persephone, coming up in just a few moments. What happened with Harstem versus Skill? The page says it on 2-2. That's just not correct. It was 3-1. Someone just saw the result of the game incorrectly, I guess. Unless I'm going particularly crazy, but I feel like Twitch chat would be kind of screaming at me if I start the next series and we left game 5 out. I think someone might have brought it up. Hang on, give me a second. I can't fix it. I can't log into my proper account in Wikipedia. Here's Harstem, that one. Oh yeah, 40 seconds. Let's do it. Let's go into Persephone and get our second game of this best of 5 underway. As we will see if Spirit can extend his lead or if Geralt will bring one back. That's definitely a solid game from Spirit. I just had so many opportunities, like essentially that drop in the main killed the Cybercore, didn't do too much, but like even that just being an opportunity is terrifying for Geralt, right? Like that was a glaring hole in his defense, and he was fortunate that his base layout in this scenario, I mean, maybe it's designed like that, right? So maybe he's not fortunate, but he's fortunate that it was the Cybercore that went down more so than something more important. Because, like I said, that was a glaring hole in his defense, and that's the kind of thing that Spirit just kind of leapt on for that, you know, kind of game-ending double push as well, where he hit the 3rd base and killed it off, and then obviously dropped the main again. Because Geralt just didn't respect the possible drop in the main, to have, you know, went then everything defensively into the main, lost the 3rd. Obviously, the game was somewhat decided then. Spirit took the fight to close out in the end, but very neatly done. And number 2. And we'll just see a probe to the low ground. Checking to see if there's anything in the corner of his natural. Doesn't want to lose to anything silly super quickly. So just ensuring that that is taken away as a possibility. And just going to see that probe starting to get out across to the top of the map. So just going to start moving over there for a few moments. And barracks coming through. Just going to have ourselves the probe getting across. Nibble at the SCV as we do delay this for a couple of moments. Command center goes down. Orbital in production. Reaper on the way. That probe will nibble back at the SCV for now. So a bit of a return of fire. SCV comes back through. Command center needs to build just a annoying side of this probe. Nothing really too major. The Nexus is coming up on the other side of the map, so we get that Nexus on the way here from Geralt, get that going. Similar building in the main base as well. And our Nexus building on the natural, so yeah, a little bit of everything just coming in right there. Take a few moments. The CC halfway done. The factory coming up. The Marine going to be there as well with the Reaper, and that's going to be a dead Proby, so that's going to be an easy pickoff as we drop the bunker down and just begin to have a more solidified defense just in case of a forward push. Here on Persephone in the early couple of minutes, which, you know, is not impossible. There's actually a Stalker moving across the map, so the bunker actually has a definite place and a definite role to play in this matchup. Reaper does just sneak out. That's fine. The bunker about to be done. No, the SCV was one-hittable. The SCV finishes the command center, then finishes the bunker. He will finish up all the jobs, taking credit for everything. And that will be bunker filled with a couple Marines, pushing that Stalker away. Reaper's about to arrive, and Stalker pops out in a great place to deny that from doing much. It is a Twilight Council once again. It's going to start a blink right now. Again, you're seeing the Stalker, second Stalker out already. You see the one at depth, but I think you can make a rough call here as Spirit, even if you didn't see the tech structure. I don't think he saw anything that was overly alarming right now, as that Adept actually shaded and did kill off the Reaper, so that goes down. And Spirit will now look toward a Hellion that moves around the left-hand side of the map as a way to try and get some information continue to be gathered, but two Stalkers intercept that, and man, Geralt is on top of just getting rid of these units, continuously trying to get rid of all the scouting that Spirit is trying to make for himself here, so just really giving it a good shot, honestly. Hellion does get turned away as a couple of Stalkers come through. That Hellion goes out the other side. We have an additional barracks building in the main base. Medevac halfway done already. Spirit. That's going to obviously up the ante in terms of some of the aggression he can apply. The Adept going to try and poke around. There is a Widow Mine, and there's going to be soon a second. That's what's likely to go into the Medevac. And then the Marines can stay here and play defense. Unless we want to switch it up from the norm. But Spirit will not do that at all. So we're just going to take those two mines across the map, and away they go. Link will be done soon. A Robo Bay in the production tab. Stalker steps straight forward in that first medevac. Takes some immediate damage. Widow Mine just gets burrowed there. Next Widow Mine onto the natural as well. Widow Mine's going to step over. Link done now, so getting a Stalker is going to be difficult. This is actually nice retargeting because it keeps the Widow Mine active. What I was going to say is actually by retargeting as well, sometimes maybe if you actually just finally let it hit a Stalker, it surprises your opponent as to which Stalker it hits, and then they don't get the blink away. Sorry, I actually missed the connection. Finally coming down the low ground, looking to try and see the mine dying in the main base. That is going to be a cleanup, and hopefully we do remember to clean this mine up. So Geralt will, and that's going to be that. A lot of lost mine time, to be fair, and we still got two pros with two mines in the medevac, so I'd say pretty decent for Spirit. Still nice for Geralt to make sure that medevac is gone and not coming back, though. Now the Raven taking its chance to come down the side as the Stalkers, man. Geralt, talk about gaping holes in his defense in Game 1. He's been absolutely on top of denying things in Game 2. That Raven does nothing. These Stalkers have been in such a good position every single time. Maybe the layout of the map just working better with how he wants to set up. Maybe just unfamiliar with how he's meant to be positioned on Hecate. He's been super on top of everything here in this game too, and kills the Raven. I mean, before it gets in position, that means that that Raven does absolutely nothing, complete waste of resources, and that just takes away so much damage that you're meant to take from that Raven over the course of the early game. So that is absolutely huge for Geralt. He'll be able to set up extremely comfortably. Now we do have some Marines sneaking around the right side, and for all the things I just said about Geralt having great denial, it's all been on the left. So the few Marines sneaking around the right, if they wait for Stim and then just Stim this third base, there's a chance they get a lot of probe kills. So that is a major opportunity, maybe on the horizon. We'll keep our eyes on. The Stalker's not making any further moves just yet. Spirit is not making too much of a move. He built his third CC on his main base this time rather than on location. In the last game, he obviously had a lot more map control. There are some units near this third base now, so the Stim in may be less effective unless this main army moves out and you just kind of start responding to that and positioning for that, and then these Marines kind of Stim in at the right time. There's absolutely possibility there for damage to be done. Stalkers turn away. Geralt not going to react with everything else yet, but he's going to want to try and defend this fourth location, so yeah, he should start moving over soon. And again, I don't think it's this main army that's looking to really get the damage done right now. Surely Geralt's not just going to let this cancel. Right now, yeah, finally, he's going to collect his units up and start moving over. Honestly, kind of late, though. I mean, He actually does just have to cancel. Now the Marines are... I mean, worst case, he actually takes the cancel, and he's going to lose a bunch of probes. And I love that we stim in from the top, because it means that these probes have to run away from when the units would come from to defend. Yeah, great job from Spirit. Going to drop a second stim down. 14 probes dead. 4th base cancelled. And just a simple 1-2 punch. And, you know, I praise Geralt for knowing what's going on. In this case, he still knew what was going on for half of it, and then he didn't even respond to that half for so long. Like, there's no reason he should ever let this 4th base be cancelled so easily. And then because he responded late and, like, he was just late getting there, he was still out of position to protect the 3rd. Really rough. That's just bad. Plain and simple, unfortunately. It's just bad. That's not the kind of play you need to be bringing if you're going to take down Spirit, who has been so consistent lately. We saw him go on a massive winning streak yesterday in King of the Hill. Like, we know Spirit's good. Honestly, he's been beating players that I'd say usually are like a bit of like a strike up for him, and he's been beating them way more comfortably lately. So, you know, there's a reason he's in the WardiTV October playoffs tomorrow as well. Beating Cure in the group stages. Like, he's playing great right now, and Geralt needs to play better than what he's playing at the moment if he wants to have a chance against him, because, yeah, so far this is not it. Sad to say. Vikings coming up, Marine Marauder Ghost coming through. Next is about to finish as we have our Storm and Armor upgrade coming about. Just going to see the Zeldstalker Colossus heading down toward the bottom. We have a pylon coming into position there as well. A little bit by on the right side, trying to get something done as well. So that gets pushed away. Bio going to play defense on that top side. I see a lot more Stalker Colossus, Disruptor gathering in the bottom. Chance maybe to move out on the map, but things are going to settle for the moment here. Storm and +1 armor all continuing through. Just having ourselves the Templar coming about, the Disruptor coming in, a couple gates and that Forge coming online as well. CV is going to step over to that 3rd base right now, so, sorry, 4th base right now. I feel like Spirit is just embracing the recent Terran philosophy in TVP, which is, in a lead, cool. That means you can't die before late game. and that's okay, because late game TVP is more preferential to Terran at the moment than it is for Protoss. That's how it goes down. Wouldn't mind settling. We do have our bio around the right. Around the right in our Protoss army. The same sort of direction. There's a counterattack as well set up on the left side. As Geralt would love to start making use of some of these. Artifact loads up. Gonna go over that right hand side. Gonna see the bio and the Ghost pushing down. A couple Widow Mines there as well. Left-hand side, the Zeld's going to come charging forward. Bunker going to get wrapped around. Going to see the Siege Tank getting picked away out there. The Zealot's still taking some damage. SCV's taking a lot of damage as well. And that Bunker is taking a lot more shots. 11 workers going down. Storm here misses initially, and now we EMP. We were only on that single Storm. The Vikings, and there's not enough Stalkers. The Stalkers blink back as well, and the Vikings are just going to keep hitting the Colossus freely. So the Colossus are all just going to go down, and Spirit is just going to stim through this. He has lost 19 SCVs on the other side. The Zealots are still going untouched on the other side as well, to be fair. The Zealots going through, the Zealot Stalker around the right again, trying to see what else is going on. Another EMP goes down. Just going to gather up. Just going to see the Disruptor shot coming through. A couple Marines are going to get hit. Zealots are still chasing through. The Vikings are going to get hunted as well. So a couple of those are dropping. The Zealots are still chasing through. It's a good cleanup from Geralt. I mean, Spirit's going to end up losing everything. Wow. Obviously, Spirit needed to do well, and he did well on the other side, but I didn't think he was going to get chased away like this. That Disruptor misses. As we continue to try and play cleanup, Geralt gets rid of the last few units there, and Spirit really has lacking supply. Great chase down by Geralt in the end, pushed him right back the other way. Disruptor shot fires, Bio going to take a step away. Obviously, Disruptor's doing a good job of zoning. As the Bio gathers up, the Ghost's going to be coming through, +3 attack. Coming around it as well. It's going to be seeing +3 attack and +3 armor coming through. A couple Colossus and Gateways. All coming about. Zealot Stalker, Disruptor moving up, Colossus on the way. Pushing to the top side at the moment, and we are going to see Orbital Command taking some damage. EMP actually hits the Orbital there, as it's just going to go down. So it's going to burn. Now we do have a 4th base top right-hand side. Bio stepping through. The couple Disruptors getting chased away. Bio still gathering together. The Storm just comes in. The High Templar is going to get picked up. Another couple of Disruptors going to come through. And there's going to be seeing another Storm still dropping down there. The Bio still chasing in. That's going to be a Disruptor. Kaboom! Does hit dead center, and a lot of those units softened up. If we take a fight right now here as Spirit, we are in trouble. But does he have a choice? Because he's a keen attack from his natural. He probably has to defend it. Folks still settling. High Templar joining through. The Bio army. This is going to be there. Again, the Ghost, the Viking settling in. We just have ourselves the +3/+3 upgrade still coming across, and we are going to go chase. A couple of more Stalkers going down again. And Geralt is settling in right now as a big leader in this game with 6 bases up, right? He's got good economy to work with. He's got a good setup to continue. Now 3-3 on the way through. Caduceus Reactor on the way over. Shot fires through. It's a couple of the Ghosts. They're going to be low HP. They get cleaned up afterward. Again, no, not a lot of Stalkers, so the Colossus are not being protected from those Vikings at all. We've seen a couple of Zealots going down. They will fall. And we've seen the Bio coming back around on the left-hand side. So we have the 3-3 upgrades continuing up as well. Ghost Marine Marauder coming through. Just going to be jumping onto this set of rocks, open up some space. Bio coming through as we have the Vikings going to be there. A couple of snipes coming down onto the Zealots, pushing that back. Now we've seen the Stalker still getting pushed away as now we take a turn around the left-hand side. Vikings take a chance to jump and kill a Colossus. Again, a couple of Colossus coming through. Robo Facility, Stargate, all coming into play. The Ghosts are building, the Marine Marauder coming up. We have drops on the other side. Spirit actually has a mass drop into the main base. It's going to force a recall. He's going to load instantly and get out of there. I was going to say, like, this location would be nice, but there's a lot of units still over here, so I don't think that's going to be that great. Bio drops down, a couple Stalkers will take hits. The Medevac's going to boost back over to the right. A couple units taking some shots and falling. On the right-hand side, the Bio going to come for a storming attack down that side as well. And man, Spirit actually doing a lot with these split attacks right now. Geralt really struggled to secure his lead, and like I say, the couple of the armies he had while being advantage was like, it was like 2 Colossus and then all Zealots, and so the Colossus just died and the Zealots get cleaned up. +3 armor is about to finish as the extra Ghost Marine Marauder Medevac building through as well. Two Bio units on the right will get a pylon. Spirit's right back up there. Now, Geralt still has a bunch of money in the bank, right? So we've got a bunch of money banked up. That's going to give Geralt the chance to rebuild comfortably coming out of some of these trades. Does get a blink over, gets rid of the Medevac there. The Bio now on the left side gets rid of the pylon and will look to chase the probe. It will fall instantly. Fleet Beacon on the way up. A couple cannons coming through. The Storm comes down. Going to turn a lot of the other units around there as well. So we just have our Probies in some trouble. Zealot Stalker Colossus continue to come through, chasing after the rest of that army. I'm going to turn. EMP's going down. Vikings going to get the chance on the Colossus. This time there's enough Stalkers to hit the Vikings. Geralt, man, what are we doing? Like, can we please kill the Vikings? You're literally just watching your Colossus die. If you take like 5 seconds to kill these Vikings... Oh my god, the Disruptor at the end was disgusting. If you take like 5 seconds to kill the Vikings, you now have like 2 Colossi still walking across the map with this army. And you still clear everything up. You still clear absolutely everything up. Just a little bit of target fire, please. At this point, I mean, he still obviously won that fight, so it's hard to, you know, I guess we're nitpicking really, but I'm only really nitpicking it because it's genuinely made previous engagements in this series bad for him, right? It's the sort of thing where it's not easy to target fire, otherwise everyone would do it, right? But like, it has become an absolute necessity at the highest level of TVP. If you're going to rely on Colossus, keep the Colossus alive. Getting the medevacs to prevent the retreat. Yeah, I mean, do you think Spirit though is just gonna? I just think it's so quick to kill those Vikings in that scenario that then he's gonna get the medevacs after anyway. Like, I don't think Spirit's gonna be like, oh, he's after the Vikings. This is my perfect moment to jump up and retreat. Because if you actually just fully load into the medevacs, then he just blinks into the medevacs, right? Then he just goes after you. So, interesting point. I just think you should protect your Colossus, man. Like, even if he retreats, that's a win. Like, as a Protoss player, you don't need to win these fights. You need to be pushing the Terran back. So if he's lifting up and retreating, like, if you kill all the Vikings and your Colossus live and you walk across the map, the next fight's going to be great for you because the guy has no way to kill your Colossus, right? So, yeah. There's also been times where, I guess I'm stuck on this point because I've seen it throughout this series, and there's definitely been times where he hasn't gotten the medevacs and instead has just had Stalkers hitting bio units, you know? I think that's why I'm really, like I say, maybe over-focusing on said point here. Another ship coming up as we do level out a little bit once again. Spirit's going to get back to being maxed out here. Stalkers on this right-hand side will go after some Marines. Very nearly get that medevac. The Stalker's going to get caught a little bit, but that tells you that a lot of bio is on this right-hand side. We'll cancel the gold. We'll see what the long-term plan is, but it might just be to force the fight on the other side of the map here as we step through. This time we will get rid of a couple Vikings as everything else step back. We're going to recall, try and protect this base, which did not take an EMP because there's no ghost here. So the recall is good, and those Stalkers will come in to push the medevacs away. Bio being chased away too. Now Spirit says, cool, recall on cooldown. Let's go down the left-hand side of the map instead. Gonna dive straight through, gonna get the Nexus, pick away at that. So we're gonna see the Zealot's gonna charge it from that other side. Stalker's coming over. Just gonna be seeing the Viking gonna be there. Stalkers and the Colossus continue to chase in. Zealots are in the front. Just gonna see a lot of that bio going down still. We get rid of a Nexus, we get some workers. Spirit's still just trying to go one way than the other, but I feel like right now he's just really trying to scrap with low tier, low HP units even, and I do think we're getting closer to just one single push from Geralt. Being very, very distinctive in terms of just playing cleanup. Loses the Disruptor there quickly. I mean, now there's only one Viking, so these Colossus should be able to have a good time and continue to just, you know, go through everything. We lose one, but again, the 2 Colossus left over. If there's no answer to them, they're going to laser down Marines, and Geralt's army looks better and better and better. We drop over here, we'll go for the Nexus, and it will succeed in killing the Nexus. So many Zealots just choked up on each other. The Mothership shows up on the other side, drops a Time Warp down to try and help us in this fight, as we're going to come running through, and again, just going to be seeing the Orbital Command going down, so that will fall. And yeah, the Vikings, the Marine Marauder Ghost, all continuing up as well. Stroke's trying to hit that reactor for a few moments, going to go back around to the left-hand side. Colossus going to go running. The Mothership is going to fall. We're going to blink back over to the right side. A couple of Colossus are still trying to get through on the Marines and the Ghosts there, as that is going to be cleanup in the end. Scrappy from Geralt, but he gets it done on Persephone. Getting the win, like I said, at the end of the day, just took a little bit of effort, right? A little bit of wrestling, but he got himself there eventually. GG's. All right, well, it's the kind of games we're gonna get. Maybe, like I say, I think Spirit's happy to play longer, but then got to be able to win those fights. And in this game, it got very scrappy, like I say. It's actually Spirit who's doing so well, and he just ran out of steam. Suddenly got pushed back for a lot of units all at once, and it all went wrong from there. So, things to look at. We'll be going to ley lines for our third map here in a few moments, guys. But again, just got to run a round of ads. We'll kick off into ley lines. Is this Terran low elo? Yes. He's not Clem. So, yeah, pretty much. Waiting for the ads. Geralt versus Spirit. You know, first clue, you're just trash. I like the take. Brutal, but did I get any good waiver pickups this week? I've got no idea, mate. I think I needed to get a quarterback. Alright, let's jump in. As you're going to have in the top right-hand side, the orange Terran player Spirit losing out in that last one, meaning we are tied up in this best-of-5 series. In the bottom left, it is going to be the blue Protoss player Geralt. Do I want Dart? I don't think I have anyone to trade, honestly. I got Stafford, so I'm pretty happy. I only need him for 1 week for to get through my buy anyway, so it's whatever. My team's just such a collection. Like, I actually have like so many different people on my team, but like I feel like my entire team is made up of people who every single week can either hit and do great, or like miss and do nothing. But like all my players are like this. Like I have like 3 players I'm definitely going to play every week, and then after that it's like instantly I'm basically like just may as well like shuffle everyone up and just randomly assign them. So yeah, my team's a bit of a mess, I'm not gonna lie. It's all good. All good. So like my problem is that like when I look at all the players on waiver, I'm like, I don't feel like I need anyone, because like I wouldn't say anyone on the waivers is like gonna be any more reliable than anyone else on my team. Even though I'm saying my team isn't reliable, like my entire team feels like they could also be on the waiver wire, you know. So yeah, I just need them to get hot at the right time. We'll see if they can do it. But yeah, not the greatest scenario, but not the worst either. And I'm so mad because in my other league, for some reason, we're only allowed to have 1 defense. And, so my defense was on buy, so I swapped them out, and now someone sniped my defense. And I'm like, bro, that's not cool. Unbelievable. You demand to see my roster? I mean, so in the main league, the StarCraft league that we play in, I have my starters are Hertz. Well, I have Hertz, Amon Ross, and Brown, Sam Laporta, and then I have the complete mess combination of Reese Hall, who is really who knows what, Judkins, White, Higgins, Samuel, Sutton, Sharpen. Honestly, the more I read through, it's not in order right now because I have a bunch of buys this week. So I had Neighbors. He's gone for the season. Payne. I went big on the wide receivers early in the draft. Have not hit on running backs deeper in the draft at all. It's painful. It's painful. You know what it is? In the last 2 years or something, I've always had loads of success just finding running backs on the way, on the waiver wire, and not like I've played like a lot of like don't invest in running back early strategies, and it's really paid off in the last couple of years. This year, it's really not paying off though. That's okay. I'm not doing bad. I'm 4-4. I've had some unlucky weeks. I've had some okay weeks. So I'm honestly, my team's pretty high scoring. I just yeah. Got Judkins too. Judkins is like, if Judkins wasn't on the Browns, like if Judkins actually had a chance to freaking score sometimes, like obviously he dominated versus Miami, but like man, I feel like yeah, like I say, like he's the kind of guy who I feel like I should play every week, but then the consistency just isn't there, right? So but my entire team is just like a mix and match at this point. My season's gone gone to hot shit, honestly. Yeah. The Marines dropping off here and get settled down. Like I say, I'm 4-4. I'm nowhere near out or anything. I'm just I have bye again this week against a good team, and then 4-5. So I have to start winning out towards the end of the season. Anyways, units pushing, Spirit attacking, Geralt defending. As we do have ourselves a couple Stalkers going to be there. The tank will siege. Medevac going to be the first target. Do not mind that at all, but it does leave the tank to get more damage done. But we get on top of it. Liberator Sieges on top as well, so all the dead Stalkers. Liberator get a couple extra hits. That Stalker does go down to that Siege tank, so the reinforcing tank here is going to make this an issue, because it means that Spirit's going to have a lot of kind of safety still. But I think going after the Medevac maybe was not the best idea straight away, because the Medevac doesn't remove damage in this army, and right now, right off the bat, when you're jumping in like this, you want to remove damage. You know, if he got the tank immediately, then you can maybe get the Liberator and run away with those Stalkers, and then this position's a lot less powerful. But leaving, basically not, choosing the Medevac as one of your key takeaways. Don't get me wrong, the Medevac's powerful too, because obviously it heals up these Marines constantly, but you're playing a kind of army that's going to do a lot of over damage anyway, so there's not a lot of time for the Medevac to really heal in the majority of the fights that should end up happening. Now that Lib moves into the main base, and Geralt is scrambling together a defense right here. So now the Immortal firing, it's depowered. I mean, they're going to jump onto this siege tank again, and it probably will go down, but it's going to be at the cost of some Stalkers, so it's not like a free cleanup. Although we'll get all the Marines after. The Liberator killed, and Spirit will finally be pushed away, and Geralt will finally have a chance to recover here, as we get ourselves Tank and Marine Stim coming up, Robobay Nexus coming through, Charge just finishing. There's a few SCVs returning over to the right-hand side, back to the natural here. Tank gonna get itself sieged as well. Stalkers blinking around. The Observer continues to that upper right side also. It's going to have Stimpack, Combat Shield, and +1 all coming about. The bunker going down onto the natural. Depot will kick in. Let's have ourselves the Stalkers chilling out on the bottom side. Again, trying to see a little bit of what's going on. The Command Center coming up, Stimpack, Combat Shield, and the +1 attack upgrade coming through as that CC will finish shortly. Another depot will get into place for the moment. And we get all those upgrades coming through. A couple of Stalkers going to hang about. Just going to take the chance to move forward a little bit. We do have our Prism coming through, Probe, and the rest of this all coming around here. Alright, so things settled down. Got that Ghost Academy coming up. Just seeing the Marine Marauder Medivac still coming through. The +1 and concussive shells all coming into play. The bio and the tanks will gather with the Medivacs overhead. And as we get over there, next is coming by. The Ghost Academy will finish very shortly. Let's have those couple of depots still getting themselves into place as the army wants to move forward onto the map. So take a chance to move out and down. Getting ourselves forwards here initially. Seeing the bio going to be trying to fight a little bit, and just going to be seeing the probably stepping back. It's going to be the Prism stepping through over here. And this is going to get a couple of Zealots down. SCVs are going to get chased for a little bit of time. It's just moving straight across there for the moment as the recall comes back in on the left-hand side. Going to bring the Prism back home. Pick up the +1 attack and extend thermal lance going through. The Zealots are going to step forward. Wouldn't mind. Going to go and get some shots gone. While tanks getting jumped at, the Colossus taking damage. The bio will get pushed away a little bit as we're going to think about maybe coming back the other way, jumping back onto this Geralt army. Doesn't quite manage it yet as extra warpins come straight through. And Spirit going to get back into the center of the map here to try and make something more happen in the next few moments. So again, staying on the map, staying aggressive. I like his trade so far. It's been even on resources lost, but being able to kind of stand on the map like this and kind of step up means he's going to be able to get his 4th base down very freely. And Geralt is not able to apply pressure himself yet. Like, he's had that one Prism, but otherwise, like, what is here to punish Spirit from doing this? Nothing. I love this wall off. That bunker is super safe. I love that it kind of filters through to let, like, a Zealot in as well, so you get at least the Zealots trying to run through there, so naturally they will mess up with the AI. There's a lot of good about what Spirit's setup looks like. And he is just set up to try and play a longer game, getting those Ghosts online, getting that Viking production on the go, Starport halfway done, the Armory in production too. Missile turret, defense tower. All continue to produce for the moment as Zealot Stalker heads to the top of the map. One Zealot going to come across here. Just going to be seeing the Prism take the little dive through into the main base, most likely. That missile turret right there. Yeah, Bio and the Vikings continue to settle as the Prism take some shots so we get ourselves some damage done. But the Zealots are in, and now we're going to see a bunch of additional Zealots beginning to play warpins as well. We're just going to be seeing our Engineering Bay going to get jumped on, so that's going to be +2 attack, in some trouble right off the bat. Yeah, I mean, this is where maybe you do a little bit better for obviously being kind of like, you know, being able to hit a Terran that was out on the map, but yeah, good dive in. We stopped the +2 attack. It wasn't that far along, so we're going to instantly rebuild it on the other Engineering Bay. And then probably rebuild another so we can get the armor going again. Even rebuilding the armory as well, which is probably just smart. Because it was looking as though it was going to die. But he saves it, and now he will actually just cancel that replacement armory. And the second Engineering Bay finishes. This honestly felt great for Geralt, but the reality is it actually wasn't that great. Like, he didn't really achieve much at all here, you know? Like, he really didn't manage to get much of anything done. Fire getting down the bottom. Zealot just going to get chased. Couple shots coming through. Let's do attack and armor. Upgrade coming about. Storm on the way in. Gates in the Disruptor building as well. This army will look to maybe try and fight. Core building into the main base, just going to get that brought through. William P goes down, the Zealot's going to get chased away the other side. And a couple of robo facilities continue to come up as the Fusion Core will finish shortly. There's a good group of units in the center. The Disruptors and the Colossus all stepping over. It's going to aim for the main army count here. As the Medivacs get jumped on, EMPs go down. Stalker's taking damage. Disruptor shot will not be able to land, will not be able to connect. And this army over here going to run through the first storm. One storm doesn't defend a base anymore is the reality of the situation. That Colossus is instantly in trouble. Next storm we step away from as well. The Vikings will get all the Colossus. Bio is low at the end of it though. A couple of the storms still coming down. The Disruptor falls. A couple of Zealots coming through too. Just going to be seeing the Bio into the bottom right. Trying to play getaway here. Stalker's blinking underneath. Actually going to get 2 medevacs that are pretty full of units at the end. Now we dive onto the left-hand side, looking to hit this Nexus. And, well, that's the one thing Spirit's done great all game long. Being able to go one side, then the other, and just continuously be able to get so much done. Going to get onto this Nexus, going to clean that out. 37 probes just died, by the way, so this was an incredible slew of events for the Terran. And suddenly Geralt is going to be hurting hard. He's down to 50 workers. His army is stronger right now in terms of size. It's got 105 to 86 army supply. Neither player has a huge bank. And obviously Geralt missing some of the economy that would have helped him to rebuild on the back of this. Not minding some of these bases with Vikings still harassing as well, as we are just pretty all over the place right now. Keep coming up and online as we just see the Vikings going to get cleaned up. So those Vikings will fall. The rest of the army collecting into the center. Let's see if he's just going to mine on the front. So 5th base is going to get mining. Obviously, we still have 5 base Protoss. We just need to get some, probes back online. We are building 5 at a time, so we should be able to get a bunch of those back up quickly and get back to mining comfortably on all of our bases. Ooh, those Stalkers just blinked in. That Bio could absolutely take a good trade there, but we're busy down on the bottom as well. Dodging a Disruptor initially. Trying to play dodgems here again. Loses a few Marines to that Disruptor shot. Just hitting on the edges. Bio still trying to come through, and we do have a defensive nuke plays to try and stop the Protoss player from just moving through this. It does take a moment right where you're like, let's see what we do things here. Disruptor shots flange short. They do not kill that ghost. We nuke absolutely nothing. Barren land. Geralt looks cool. Walks through. Nuke just landed. There's now the Stalker force continues to move about. Bio gathering around. Still got medevacs joining up as well. 3/3 upgrades plus 2 ship weapons. We'll try and make a bit of a dive down onto this position as we do see the Disruptor going to get picked off. A couple Zealots going down. The High Templar dropping a Storm as well. Still trying to push through into this right here. Bio backing it up just for a second. Another Disruptor shot. Does reach and gets a good amount of units on that right-hand side. So a lot going down in that short span of time. Bio continues to pull away, running off from those Zealots at the moment. Escaping up over there, Zealot Stalker Archon chasing. I mean, Geralt will push back, but again, it comes after taking damage. And Spirit is just getting a better army each time we come out of this, basically, at this point. Hey, Mr. Chat SC2, thank you so much for the gift of sub to Human KO as well. Appreciate you. Thank you for the generosity of gifting us up. Thank you very much, as our couple medevacs are going to go boosting around on that left-hand side. Did you come from YouTube to gift us sub on Twitch? That's some commit. Appreciate it. Thank you. As we do have our couple Disruptors, the Colossus coming online. As we have the little bit of Bio. Just going to go after the Zealot. It's going to be another nuke launching. This one's aiming for Mineral Line, but it's Ghost. Oh, Ghost Cloaks halfway through being attacked. Uh-oh. That could have been very tricky. Because if Geralt didn't realize that could have been so much worse. If he thought he just killed the ghost and then he went and did something else. That's crazy. How can a ghost while it's dropping a nuke? Well, Zealot Stalker going to chase the Bio up that left-hand side, and we'll continue to hunt that away. We'll see some more Bio and Ghost gathering up on the right, moving down the bottom a little bit here. A chance to move in toward this base perhaps over the next few moments. Man, Spirit is exploding in terms of bases. Just trying to expand everywhere over the last few moments. Getting these locations up is going to be huge for him. And drop a couple of EMPs in toward this army is going to take some steps back. A couple of Zealots are taking damage right away. The Vikings that are remaining, I think, should be good enough to get rid of that Colossus as well. As we again split back once more. A couple more Disruptors trying to land, but not quite able to. Medevacs over here, again, just being a good distraction. Spirit has almost never just been attacking in one place at a time just yet. See the Storm coming down, Bio continue to trade out. Vikings landing, Ghosts trying to fight. Storm still coming through. And yeah, we are just going to have the rest of the Bios going to try and step forward. The Colossus will go down. And that will be Spirit. 200 supply against Geralt 75. And I will give you no guesses. Actually, will win from there because the game has already been called. Spirit takes the game number 3 and gets to a 2-1 lead in this best of 5. Couple longer games back to back then, huh, for our TVP right here. Alrighty. So, we're going to head to map 4, as it's going to be more Spirit, more Geralt. We'll just take a moment for ads, guys, after a longer game we got to, just in case we get another long one. I don't want to risk the ads happening during the exciting parts of the action. Oh! You missed BC rushes. Can someone enlighten you why BC rushes never use your auto cannon? I mean, they did, right? It just depends what BC rush you're going for. If you're going for one battle cruiser, it's usually not worth going into the Yamato, because you just don't get enough value off of Yamato in once every however long the cooldown is. But by not going Yamato and only building one BC, you make the BC basically a harassment opener where you can transition away from much more comfortably. If you ever made a second BC and a BC opener, you almost always go Yamato cannon, because then the value is just there, so it becomes a lot more valuable. Hello, hello, what did you miss? About 2 full series of StarCraft 2 so far. We've had some fun PvP, we've had a pretty fun TVP here as well, which we are about to get into a game number 4 of. Let's do exactly that as we head on into Ultra Love. Let's get this into action, as we're going to have in the top right-hand side of the orange Terran, it is going to be Spirit. While in the bottom left, our blue Protoss player will be Geralt. Fun PvP is not what you expect in one sentence. Well, it was, you know, it didn't go too long. It was fun PvP. It was more aggressive kind of games. There wasn't any kind of like super drawn out stuff. Yeah, we had some cool moments, a couple cool highlights. Yeah, it was fun PvP. Probies will put some damage onto the engineering bay just to start us off, as the engineering bay block gets denied. Nice and quickly, good from Geralt to get down there ASAP and basically get a spot on that straight away, so just being able to deal with that right off the bat. As we do have our SCV is going to head back toward the upper right hand side and get up there for the next couple of moments. Reaper and Orbital coming through, Cybercore and a Nexus in production. Reaper will come down toward the bottom left-hand side, so... Gonna have our Nexus halfway done, Stalker on the way. Twilight Council will build on the side of Geralt as well, it's just gonna bring that straight through. There's the factory and the CC building up as well. Just gonna have that bunker coming by, and a couple of shots off onto the Reaper right now. Start pushing that out over to the right side, so away we go. That Twilight Council really not far from being completed here, so can give us a lot of power as the Stalker is in position. The Reaper goes the other direction. Ooh, hoo, hoo, very nearly going down, but does survive then, at least for the moment. So getting out of there. Step coming through, the couple of probes coming about, the warp gate coming in. Have that blink is continuing about, and yeah, the warp gate coming through for the moment, so just going to bring that straight online. The Widow Mine, the Marines coming through, Starport and the barracks building as we speak. And bunker just going to settle in. Starport will be completing, and we just have ourselves the couple Widow Mines popping out of the factory. Going to give us the chance to go, and drop across to the other side in the near future as that medevac spawns. We'll be able to get this underway. So Ripper's going to try and come through. The Adept's going to try and make a little bit of a play right now. Not really much to talk about. Overanalyze, I guess, more than talk about. We can talk about the Adept walking up here. The concept of this opening is very standard. We are going to fly the medevac kind of over the Adepts. It's like, hey, look at me, I'm going this way. So Spirit kind of shows the medevac as the Adept peels off to the side. Blink will finish very soon from the Twilight Council, so we're going to get that completed. Medevac still got the two Widow Mines and is going to be heading down the bottom. The Reaper escapes away to the right side. The third Nexus sets up, and yeah, the medevac will continue to make its way through into the natural as we get ready to unload. One mine, two mines to drop off, and yeah, a little bit of unburrow, reburrow action. We'll see the Stalker stepping through as well. But am I going to turn onto the Stalkers, which do have blink, so tries to retarget a couple of times. But Geralt stayed paying attention and did realize when that mine was going to hit, so it does go for the blink away. Next mine into the main base with the Reaper. Are we going to evacuate the Reaper? We might. I mean, we could. What we should really do is make sure the medevac stays alive, and actually keeps the mine inside alive as well, so I like that a lot. Because then you still have the threat of the mine, even if it didn't get to fire here in the end, you're still denied mining time. And you still have, like I say, that threat remaining to come back in at some point over the next few minutes as well. Stalkers take a chance to step out through the bottom. We will also have the Rope Bay building, a few probes on the way through. We have Stim Pack and Combat Shield all coming by from our Terran player. Getting that online as well. Reactors building through. The Order Turret's going to come in. Nice to see this Raven get across the map alive this time compared to that game on Persephone where it died on its way into position. Not the best place, it would rather be here, because if you're here you have the chance to hit the third or the natural. So then you can really go, pick your poison, and it's really kind of doing two things at once. As, yep, like this retargeting, just hitting the probes on that gas every now and again, just to, again, be annoying. Deny mine time, doesn't let the mine actually fire, is just going to lift it up and leave once again, and just, again, take the economy drain on the Protoss early as they have to move units away from that mineral line. And now, nothing here, just going to drop this Order Turret in. We'll get a couple of probes, at least, I'd imagine, to go down. Again, that's going to be a success story. Combat Shields is about to finish. The Bio is going to be there, the Stalker step away. And the Eye of Spirit is going to continue to make its way to the south of the map here, so looking to get into position in the next few moments. That charge is going to be done shortly. The Bio is still stepping over. Stemming in, a couple Stalkers going down. The Zealot's in some trouble. Sentry in some trouble as well. A few more shots coming around right here. The Stalker's going to get jumped on Spirit. having a chance to do a lot of work right now. Cancel this warp in, and you're going to be golden to keep hitting this base. Only 2 Stalkers showing up. Kills the battery, goes back onto the Stalkers and the probes, and I don't know what's arriving to save the day. I guess this Colossus is going to save the day, because these units are a little bit low perhaps. Maybe we can't really dive onto the Colossus, but then there's a drop in the main. Is that Widowmine? Oh no! He blew up his own medevac! He blew up his own retreat! Silly Widowmine. That's not how you're meant to do things. We do get away with a few units as well, so Spirit just unloads over here. We'll let the medevacs gain some energy and heal. And the Stalkers looking as though they're going to try and hunt this. I mean, the few Marauders here, they're going to be able to trade against Stalkers, so maybe with everything it's going to be better. Both medevacs go down, and that is going to be the cleanup. I'm going to step across still. I'm just going to get back into this mineral line so this new drop shows up. And man, Spirit again has just been so good. Like, the entire series, he's just been constantly attacking 2 places at the same time, and it's really been a drain on Geralt's ability to stay in this game. Like, Geralt has really struggled to just stand up and to deal with the multi-prong. It really has been kind of a standout, statement in these in this best of 5. Spirit's just been too good at attacking 2 places, and I think that's really why Geralt's ended up in trouble every game that he's lost. And it was one of the reasons he was in trouble on Persephone a little bit as well before he got that great turnaround fight. One more gateways coming through. Colossus in production. Stalkers trying to linger on the map and see if they can catch anything or make something happen with their efficiency of the blink, but the numbers do not look pretty at all for Geralt, if we want to say that one more time. As we just step up. I mean, he will try and poke through. Like I say, there's no harm in trying to find something here in SCV and Marine. Got some Marauder even, which is nice, so, it's free damage. The thing is, free damage like that, you're going to have to do a lot of it to catch up the 30 supply you're behind. The Stalker's recall home as well, so he knows he's maybe getting in trouble. He's kind of a little bit too deep on the Terran territory. So he even recalls home to get himself out of trouble, and that's just a recall down. The Stalker's now no longer getting free pickings. So yeah, I don't know if the 1 Marauder, 1 SCV is going to turn this game around at all. Most likely not, as Geralt. Oh no, 3 Colossus. They don't have thermal lance just yet, so missing the range. They're not going to be as good as they should be. Another reason why things are looking a little miserable here. Zealot, Stalker, Colossus still just gathering together. The Bio Viking joining up. The Widowmine's going to be nearby. The Stalker's going to escape away up towards the top side and maybe going after that command center. Widowmines begin to barrel up. Pylon on the right is going to go down. We'll see a force field coming straight in. This battery is going to get taken out as well, so we knock that battery away. Just going to have our pylons taking some damage too. Vikings getting the prism. Taking a shot, so it's stepping forward. Colossus. First Colossus going down. The rest of the Vikings going after the other Colossus as well. Bio just honestly doing a great job of standing, fighting. So many Zealots going down. And there's no way you win this one. The Disruptor shot will not land. And this game goes to Spirit. And just great multi-prong. And just making the game play at a faster rate than what Geralt can really, stand up and deal with. GG's. Spirit 3. Geralt 1. Spirit moves through in the lower bracket of the OSC mid-season playoffs. He will play against Harstem, so Harstem versus Spirit in the top 8 of the lower bracket. And we will be moving through to Cristiana versus Trigger as we have another PvP up next. Trigger's been on a PvP spree in this lower bracket, 3-1 mana, 3-0 Jumi. Cristiana Trigger should be actually a pretty fun matchup. Pretty well matched couple of Protoss players here, so we're going to get into that in a couple of moments, guys. Before we do, just a quick moment or so. First of all, I think first time we're saying much today, but basically TLDR. Thanks for watching, first of all. If you are out there and enjoying the stream, do consider doing the simple things, such as following the Twitch channel, seeing them live in the future. If you're on the YouTube, take a moment to scroll down, hit like and subscribe. If you're logged in on YouTube, it takes like 2 seconds. I'm going to do my part right now, open my YouTube app and like my own stream, because I'm that much of a loser that I'm going to do that. So let's do that as soon as I find my own stream. Now, the most difficult part's finding the stream. If you're already on the stream, you already did the difficult part, Bang! I'm like number 40. Let's get that number up, guys, if you're watching on the YouTube. And, yeah, obviously, if you're enjoying the cast and stuff, there's the usual ways of support, but I'm not going to sell too hard outside of our own tournament. We have a WardiTV playoff day tomorrow, right? So tomorrow it's going to be Sellout Friday. Tomorrow will be Sellout Friday. So yeah, very exciting. You were 42? Oh, see, going up already. People are getting in on the liking. That's what we'd like to see. Getting in on the liking of things. Beautiful. Do 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 bam 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 bam. Hey, what's up, James Decoy? Thank you so much for the Prime sub. Appreciate it. Thank you for priming us up. Any more games? Yep, we are just waiting out a set of ads to jump into. Cristiana versus Trigger. Then we have Ryong versus Cham. And then we're going to be done with the OSC mid-season playoffs and moving into the Crank Team League. We're going to be going through the second day of Crank Team League matches, which were games that were played a couple days ago still. I don't know what to do. I don't know if we should skip some Crank Team League in order to I don't know if I should skip some Crank Team League in order to like get towards the matches that have happened most recently. I feel like it'd be a shame to skip out on what are, still good matches, right? Yeah, I think that's definitely a shame. So I think I just want to cast them all still, but that obviously comes at the price of us being behind on the schedule, but I think that's just a price we have to pay. Yeah, because we're going to have to end up finishing that tournament next week. By then, we're going to be way behind schedule, but like I say, just can't really do much about it. I didn't want to, like, set out whole days this week to cast the Crank Team League, because I just felt like it wasn't... I don't know. It just didn't seem like a good idea at the time. Now I'm, like, looking back, and I'm like, maybe we should have just had one day this week, where we just did a full Crank Team League day. Yeah. We'll probably just continue to use it as like bonus content next week as well, though. Alright, I think we should be able to go. As we are going to get ready to go into Cristiana versus Trigger. Let's do this. Alright, next matchup from this lower bracket. It is more PvP. I actually think this genuinely very cool PvP though. Trigger, great player. Cristiana, very solid, especially in the online events. I actually don't know who I'd predict to come out of this one as a winner. Like, Cristiana, I think obviously Trigger's a much more accomplished player. Cristiana always pulls his weight in online tournaments, though. Like, I feel like this is Cristiana's kind of home ground almost, you know? So yeah, this is a very cool one. As in the top right, our red Protoss player to open up the best of 5 will be Cristiana. He takes on the blue Protoss in the bottom left-hand corner, Trigger. And I hope everyone's doing well. Let me know how we're all feeling today. It's almost the end of the week, guys. It is Thursday. Are the replays available? For tournaments like this, OSC mid-season playoffs, for the Crank Team League, they are not my replays to give out. These replays are given to us to stream specifically, so no. As far as I'm aware, no. I don't know if like Crank is planning to release the replays of his Team League at some point afterward or not. But, yeah, these replays, no, but a lot of what we do in terms of WardiTV events and other stuff that we cover, we do give out replays for, to subs and stuff, but, yeah, for these specific events we're covering today. So. Did you miss the Harstem best of 5? You did. He played earlier. He played the opening match of the day if you want to do the rewind on YouTube. Is it Halloween tomorrow? Yes. Tomorrow is Halloween. It's also WardiTV October Playoff Day. I know what you're thinking. How did you forget? Yep, exactly. it's also the release of Riftbound, which is a new card. It's the League of Legends trading card game. So I'm basically gonna. That's it, guys. I'm done. StarCraft's over. I'm now a League of Legends in person guy. Yeah. Crazy. Crazy business. Yeah, we're actually going to be starting like 15 minutes late tomorrow, I think, guys. I'm going to delay the start of the stream just a little bit, just because I want to go and grab something from the store before we start. So I'm going to be editing the time of tomorrow ever so slightly because of it, so... I know, I'm a terrible person, delaying the start of my own tournament stream to do my own thing. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Take a couple moments, getting set up. Now our Nexus coming through. A couple sentries coming up, warp gate on the way, and just going to be seeing the sentries and the Stalker gathering through. Hallucination going to come about. And yo, what's up? Loud Accord, thank you so much for the $5 super chat on the YouTube, coming in just after saying, your work ethic is amazing, and Wardy, thank you for doing your thing. Thank you so much for supporting it. Genuinely, really appreciate the support. Thank you so much for donating. It helps out massively, guys. Like, no, not selling out too much today, because I'm probably going to sell a lot tomorrow in the playoffs of the WardiTV tournament, but, like, real talk, like, you know, the support helps a lot. You know, I got bills to pay, I got tournament prize pools to put up, so if you guys enjoy the content, do consider supporting. Thank you, Loud Accord, for doing just that. Appreciate the $5 super chat. Thank you so much for the generosity, mate. And for the kind words as well, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Well, this PvP is rather piece versus piece, because it's not a lot going down just yet. We're going to have ourselves the next coming through, the blink coming online. The hallucination is going to make its way to the bottom left-hand side. It's going to go on a little bit of a scout in the early stages. Again, that blink coming through, the gold probes and stalkers all coming up. You can see the hallucination dealing some damage. A couple more stalkers warping in, the probe coming down the right-hand side. The date of Halloween's easy to remember this year because it's the date of the much more important WardiTV playoff. Yeah, exactly. Even better, it's the WardiTV October playoff as well, so you know it's in October too, just in case you didn't remember when Halloween was. Yeah, honestly through and through. WardiTV bringing, you know, that's why Halloween seems like such a big deal this year. You know, it's got that knock-on effect from it being the same day as our October playoffs. Lucky Halloween, huh? And everyone who makes money off of Halloween. Should ask the stores selling Halloween outfits for some commission or something. Seriously. Robotics facility coming up, the hallucination. We'll move toward the main base. Stalkers, sentries continue to gather around as the blink's just about halfway done. A few stalkers blinking into the main base already. Gonna go after a few probes right now, so 2 or 3 of those going down. There's no defense here at all for Cristiana just yet. Trigger blinks into the back. Is going to have 2 stalkers that didn't recall, so they will get 1 more probe, but that will be that. That was obviously not intentional. That was just a misplay on the recall, a little bit of mislocation. Still gets most of the stalkers out. 6 probes going down in total is pretty darn nice. And Cristiana, what do you want to do about it? Has a larger army supply, has a forward gateways to suggest that he might want to set up to attack. Blink is being finished for him, and he's not investing into the future setup of this game. Whereas you see Trigger at Nexus, Robo just finished, extra gates on the way through now. Cristiana is already a 4-gate Protoss player and likely wants to make use of that in these next few moments. Stalkers blinking down. We will see our extra gates coming up. Just having a few stalkers going to be there. Just going to see a little bit of Stalker Sentry coming back over, and again, can trigger defense here. Obviously, he's got sentries. Pops his own Guardian Shield up as Cristiana does the same. Trigger's going to pull the probes in, recognizing that he might not have enough good stuff to deal with this right now. Like I say, he's investing into a lot of the future-proofing of this game, whereas Cristiana is very much so looking to kill in the next couple of moments. And Cristiana does not do serious damage here. He is in trouble because he's delaying so much in this scenario. As 4 probes go down, going to make that 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh my god, I'm running out of fingers over here. Oh god. onto my toes as we get to 11. It's just probe count obviously taking serious hits. Now the Immortal shows up, but there's too many Stalkers, and that's going to be the issue. The double army supply pretty much throughout this entire fight has not been stoppable. The Trigger just doesn't have the defenses in place, which means that Cristiana is going to come Stalker in his way through to a Game 1 victory and a 1-0 lead in this best of 5, because unless something changes very drastically in the next moment or two, this is seeming pretty doomed. I mean, you're mass pulling probes, you've got slow Zealots trying to chase down Stalkers. Yeah, I mean, you're opening, 2 Stalkers to your opponents. The numbers are just not adding up for you here's Trigger. At this point, it's too far gone, and Cristiana is likely going to close out this defense. Some good blink backs there, but then the probes are going to step through a choke point to kind of come in and engage. Some extra Stalkers from the other side show up. Cristiana really does look to just have a little bit too much right now as the Zealots continue to go down. And the Stalkers will be taking a few more shots as well, so step up this round. Pylon goes down. There goes your Warpins from Trigger as well. GG gets called. Cristiana takes the opening game of this best of 5, so Cristiana gets off to a 1-0 lead. Pretty confident, comfortable start, like I say. Just did a lot of things very right, very quickly, and obviously went for the more aggressive kind of route as well, and that really paid off for him, so GG's. We go to Tokamak for game 2, guys. A shorter game, lovely, and we're casting replays, which means we can just go into the next game super quickly, as long as we're not waiting on ads. And with a shorter game, we actually get to do exactly that. So, game number 2 comes straight at you on Tokamak, as we have in the top right corner. The red Protoss player is going to be Cristiana. Taking on the blue Protoss in the bottom left, it is going to be Trigger. Game 2, away we go. And Tokamak, and it's 2 gateways each on the high ground to start us off in the early stages. As we have the assimilators coming online, the probes in production. And get this on the way. Trigger's good and all, but who goes early eco in a PvP? It's actually not too uncommon once you're on 2 base and you're moving towards 3 to kind of set up for the 3rd base and to play that. More often than you think, PvPs come down to like someone who goes to the 3rd base and the other guy's like, I'm gonna kill you on 2 base. Which is, yeah, like I say, it might not be obvious, but like I say, surprisingly often when you get to that 2 base situation, that's what comes next. It's awkward, because if you kind of play safe, your opponent, if you kind of play, like, playing safe almost gets you nowhere. So you either have to do one or the other. You either have to play the aggression and kind of like be aggressive yourself, or you play for the eco. Like playing down the middle of the path just kind of loses you both scenarios, you know. So it's a little bit of a weird one, and that's why you see, I think, such the diversity of like one guy being like, bam, 3rd base, bam, let's go into that later game, and the other guy's like, bam, 2 gateways, I'm gonna come and fight you right here. So Orbital Facility coming up as we take a couple of moments. Okay, coming through, Sentry Stalker coming out, the Robotics Facility and Stalker on the way. Get another warp gate coming through as well. That Nexus going down on the natural expansion from Cristiana. It's going to bring that straight through with the Robo Facility halfway done from Trigger. A couple Stalkers in the warp gate coming up as well, so we're bringing a lot of that online. The Stalkers on the right side trying to set up for the moment. Okay, coming through. Nexus will just build. It's going to get that natural going straight into place. And it's going to be seeing the Nexus coming up there as well. It's just going to get a lot of that underway for a moment or two. Nexus is going to be a bit further along right now from Cristiana. Robotics Facility onto the main base. Get that underway as well. as a few Stalkers begin to move out onto the map. So they're going to take their journey. Trigger taking a step through. Obviously, both players expanding. Slightly safer build from Trigger, obviously, going Robo expand, whereas Cristiana expands into Robo. Have that Nexus building through, the Twilight Council coming online from Trigger as well, the Immortal and the Sentry still on the way in. And just see the few Stalkers still gathered up for a couple of seconds here just to settle us down. The Observer moves to the upper right corner, where it's going to see Sentries and a Stalker gathering in. And a couple more Stalkers coming online. It's just going to get a couple of those building up as well already. And nab ourselves pick a little Observer over here, so easy pick to start as your own Observer spawns. Trigger immediately goes into the Resonating Glaive, so he's going to play, well, he wants to play the Adept Immortal combo. Simulators coming up onto the natural expansion. The bottom right pylon's just on its own, nothing crazy there. And the Twilight and the Forge now starting from Cristiana, so yeah, Trigger obviously just building straight towards, again, Immortal Adept, big push. Extra 2 gates coming online now for him, and we'll see what Cristiana does. Obviously currently teching into Twilight and Forge of his own, but is he going to expand? Or what does he want to, again, exactly get done here over all those gates still building up? And online, the Stalkers and the Sentries joining up, gathering. We take a couple of moments. What's up, Halo4? Thank you so much for the 47-month resub. This is a non-Amazon Prime sub. Incredible. Love to see it. Thank you so much for the 47. And thank you so much for continued support. There's 5 gates in production right there for Trigger, by the way, so we know he's getting aggressive. We know he's going across the map. None of this is a surprise. That Temple Archives is massive for Cristiana, who is pretty aware of what's up. He's seen the additional gates coming in, so he knows. I mean, the Temple Archives, you get some Archons up here and start smashing Adepts with the Archons, you are going to be in such a good place. So that's really what we are, I mean, honestly, not far away from it. If we get to, it's going to be incredible for him. See how this goes. The first weapons coming in from Trigger. He's 15 army supply up as he's going to approach the top side and push into the natural here in a moment or two. Prism Load's going to send 2 Adepts to the main, and then he'll try and probably bring the Prism back to the rest of the army, although the Stalkers are there, so might just fully focus on the front. The Adepts typically are going to want to try and get in there and do something quickly. Nice grabs. The Immortal in the front gets force fielded in quickly. That will go down. Force fields in return from Cristiano have kept Trigger a step or 2 back, though, so you can't get all of the Adepts in place too breezily right now. Hopes a bunch more Adepts in right now, and we'll try and send those forward. As we have got ourselves, man, the battery's putting in work. The units at the front are just not going down. There's some of the Adepts still not firing as well. Supply is going the wrong way from Trigger, who does get into the main with some Adepts, but the Stalkers are here to meet them, and they are tanking a lot of the damage, and we are stepping through, and uh-oh, that Prism is going to take a lot of shots. It's going to get zoned out, so now nothing can be saved. It's a disaster from Trigger. It was looking like he might have had a shot at it, but Cristiana just looking better on that defense, and looking great so far in this series. He's on the verge of a 2-0 here, and I don't think Trigger has much left in the tank to really stop this from being a 2-0. I mean, it's only getting better for Cristiana as he's going to have Blink very soon as well, so even more efficiency available. He can chase that Prism down finally, most likely, if Blink comes up. It does indeed look as though Cristiana is threatening that 2-0 lead. What a starting point for him on the day. Stalkers still going through for a couple of those Adepts, a few units pulling back toward the natural. Looking to try and fight there. The Prism taking a couple of shots. The Immortal will go down. The Adepts will take shots. Damage being done. I see another round of Adepts just moving through, shading through. Just going to shade into the center there. The Stalkers will come up. Guardian Shield popping. Get shot down. Just going to see the Immortal goes next, and that's going to be a couple more Stalkers continuing to go down here. Realistically, this is just going to be too much as our damage continues through. We're going to take a shot on a barrier. Just going to be seeing the mortal goes down for Cristiana, but realistically, like, he's just being overly aggressive because he can be. Like, I mean, kind of expect him to push through the victory any second, especially as this immortal goes down. There's not a lot of life left on the defenses of Trigger, and Cristiana will take game 2 of this best of 5. Bum, 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 bum. Alrighty, guys, we'll take the 2 map point as a quick little ad break here before we dive into a game 3. But Cristiana looking great so far, like I say, in this PvP. Really looking pretty excellent early on. And yeah, we'll be heading to Persephone to see if Trigger can make a comeback in the matchup, or if Cristiana's just going to run away with it, basically. So, like I say, a couple moments, we'll get that set and get ready to roll. Alright, let's get game 3 on the go, guys. As we go to the top left-hand side of Persephone with the player who's got the 2-0 lead right now in this best of 5 series. This is Cristiana, 2-0 up. Gotta be loving his life right now. Gotta be loving where he's at. Cristiana, our red Protoss, taking on the blue Protoss. Down in the bottom left-hand corner, we are going to have ourselves Trigger, who is in a little bit of trouble and could absolutely do with freeing himself from this scenario because, yeah, 3-0 is not fun. It's an elimination match as well, so you gotta win right here. At this point now, we've got to turn it around 3 in a row, which is really not pretty, really not fun, really just kind of tough. Alright, gate coming down, the assimilator is coming up as we get settled in for a few moments early. The assimilator's coming online then, the gate's coming by. We just have our probies producing as well, so a little bit of everything on the way in. Just going to get that second gateway started already. The assimilator is still building through. Probe of Cristiana decides to come down and head to the bottom side of the map, so it's going to get straight across here in toward that main and just start figuring out what's going on. Really, that's what came down and came up in that last game, is that you were just constant with the scouting from Cristiana in game number 2. He knew everything that Trigger was doing. He was very well prepared when Trigger arrived with the attack, and outside of losing the first Immortal for Cristiana defensively, it was a complete shutdown, and he was just setting up so nicely into all of the structures that were going to help him. In the end, he didn't need the Temple Archives, right, but it was there just in case the game went on and Trigger played it more slowly and went towards a higher depth count. Then you had the option to at least add Archons, right, so he really just gave himself a great setup. Fantastic business. Very nicely done. Oh, we got ourselves a sentry coming by, the warp gate coming up on both sides. A couple sentries coming through initially. Time our pylon settling down as well. Stalker and sentry together will nibble at that pylon too. And as That's the next going down. So we'll expand versus an expand. 2 sentries on the way from both players, so we're actually going to put the mirror into mirror matchup for the first 3 minutes of Persephone. And now we look to see where the mirror gets shattered. Twilight Council from Cristiana, and a Twilight Council from Trigger as well, just a few moments later, so there is Cristiana taking a slight edge on the timing there, but overall, it's close enough right now. We're not really looking to cherry pick a favorite or anything. Because the hallucinations, obviously, at this stage will be pretty consistent from the sentry count, and so we will continue to have the scouting, and you're basically looking to consistently know what your opponent is doing. They're both going to see Twilight on either side, and that means they're both going to blink. And now it's a question of, do you go into blink in a third base, or do you go into blink and pressure to deny a potential third base? More than likely, that's the two kind of choices we run down. Or you throw down the Dark Shrine, because you've got a pylon on the far right of the map, and oh, this is such a lovely play. Because if you don't recognize the lack of the lateness of the blink starting here as trigger, and you don't quite figure out that there's missing gas across the bases, like in theory you see everything, so you should be able to be like, hey, why don't you have like the gas count that you should have? And then maybe you can figure out that the Dark Shrine's on the way instead, right? And then maybe you take the precaution and build the robo preemptively. But if you don't do that, you're in trouble. There's another hallucination. Blink is yet to start on that Twilight Council. If we don't start it soon, I actually get a little bit worried that it actually just gets seen, not upgraded, and that's a big take out away. Oh, you just see it with the Stalker anyway. Trigger finds the Dark Shrine and will begin to kill it. Now, he might not deny it, but it means he can start the Robo facility, so right away get some info. Actually is going to show up with the Stalkers too. He might get a cancel on this. Okay, he's going to go for the pylon first, and then probably just turn his attention to the Dark Shrine. Nothing else going on, so he's going to get away with it. Third base goes down from both players. I mean, Trigger knows he can get away with it because his opponent's invested into a Dark Shrine. I think you cancel this as Cristiana. Get the money back, man. Yeah, wait until the last second, but he does just take the money back because, let's face it, even if it finishes, you warp 1 DT in at home, your opponent's going to have an observe, right? Like, the chances of that DT being worthwhile, when you can still get money back on the Dark Shrine, take the money back now. We're actually interestingly pushing forwards here as Cristiana, but it's going to put him in a weird place because Trigger's coming back from killing the Dark Shrine, so he's going to kind of come in from an odd direction. I thought he was, in my vision, he was going to kind of catch this army here. Running to the left, getting those force fields down, gives you the chance to recall. We killed a few probes then, so Cristiana gets something out of that move out, but still not an ideal scenario where now he's going to be without blink, his opponent finishing blink already, and there's going to be a few moments in this game where Trigger has the chance to take an advantage with just straight up better Stalkers, because Stalkers that can blink are going to be way, 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 way better than Stalkers that cannot blink. Spoilers in case you didn't know that one, but yeah, that's gonna make this, I mean, maybe difficult. At the end of the day, you see right now, Trigger does not push that aggressively, so he's gonna start charge, start the +1. I think he's still happy with where he's at, and just gonna play it out from here. Does not necessarily feel the need to do loads of damage just yet. There's a pretty fine timing, and to be fair, there's actually a lot of Stalker sentry up defensively as well from Cristiana, so maybe there wouldn't have been that much of an opportunity outside of a couple of shots blinking back, and then you're playing the dangerous game of when exactly does that blink finish from my opponent. If you don't know that exactly and you mess up the time, maybe you end up in more trouble than you need to. I completely missed these Stalkers, guys. I apologize. I just completely missed those getting across there, so they dive in for 5 probes in the main. My apologies. That is going to be some successful damage done from Trigger. So he actually does get through and is able to make some action happen with those few Stalkers. So gets in, gets some damage. And maybe that's why he's pulling back with the rest of the Stalkers, because he actually had some up in towards the main base. Would make a little bit more sense. Those gateways coming online, the charge is coming through, probes producing from both. Obviously, both have headed into a third base here. Both are heading into a fourth base now, so we continue to just explore the possibility of just a later game. The Stalkers blink down, there's a mortal nearby, but we're going to get away safely. I don't think we want to blink to chase after, because there's quite a few Stalkers, to be fair. A couple of Adepts going to try and find some probes. They're going to be forced to run. And they will try and do exactly that as a couple of Zealots coming around. The Stalkers get back over. The Adepts get chased. A couple of those Adepts already just sitting between the bases. 3 workers going down, but that will be all as now the Stalkers retreat back to the top of the map. Extra gates coming through, High Templar in production. Have that charge about to finish, the +1 attack upgrade is over halfway done. got the rest of the Zealot Stalker coming around right now. So you can see that Zealot Stalker still coming through. The Prism coming down to the bottom left. We've got the Immortal coming across there as well. Sentries in full energy. This Trigger just retreats back, but I actually feel like Trigger, maybe he waits for +2 attack, but I feel like he's got a good army to try and go and maybe make something happen. I mean, his 85 to 56 army supply, he warps in a couple more High Temple here, so Archon's going to be added into play. And yeah, maybe he'll wait for the +2 upgrade, but if he just sits on the map and positions himself to commit, it'd be very, very cool. But Archon finishes up. The pylon is on the way over. It's going to see a little bit of army working around the left-hand side currently, so around the left we go. Solid Stalker Archon going to set up for a moment or two. How many Zealots does Trigger have? He's got 38, so the 17 in comparison. What is interesting is maybe the base trading potential here. I'm going to send a Prism into the main base. This army's going to show up. Trigger is not too far away, so he might just be able to get back and jump on this portion of the army. Dealing with the main base might be the bigger issue. He might just have to go for the warp in there eventually. And he's going to start losing some pylons. He does force the recall on this right side army, so that gets recalled away. Our probe's going down as well. Trigger did get a run by onto the 4th. He's currently losing power to 2 of his gateways. That Forge being depowered, and oh my goodness, I was talking about him waiting for +2 attack. +2 is never going to finish. The Forge goes down. +2 is denied. Well, that's actually huge for Cristiana, but it would mean a lot more if he actually had an army that would matter in terms of, you know, not being behind the upgrade. Right now, even upgrades with 50 army supply down is kind of just whatever, so it means that Trigger is going to go across the map. He knows he killed a lot here, and he knew he was in a good position anyway, I think, so he's going to get going. And this time, obviously, his opponent's not out on the map. This time, his opponent's not going to force him to turn around the other way. So Trigger's actually going to get to commit to the fight he's looking for. And yeah, ready to dive in. Now, there's a lot of Archons, and maybe that could be the saving grace of Cristiana if these Archons can trade super effectively and take down a bunch of Zealots here. I mean, maybe the Zealots get stuck. Maybe they can't all get involved in the fight. I'm just trying to find some ways that maybe this turns into Cristiana's favor, but it's feeling difficult as the Zealots are going to threaten over here, force the army down. That creates almost a surround, but then this position obviously is not going to let that be a surround. But then Trigger can kind of just back off and do the same again, although right now it's just the Zealot wars up on that top side. You see the main fight kind of taking place to the bottom, but eventually there's going to be so many Zealots. And on top of the Archons too, so they're taking big damage. They're just having to shoot in every direction. Just so many Zealots, and Trigger is going to eventually force his way through this. So even fighting onto the defender's location and everything, it just does not matter, as he just seriously has that much more. And Cristiana will have no option but to say GG. He taps out and is going to be giving up on this one, as Trigger is going to bounce back in this best of 5. So Trigger is going to take a game. Trigger is going to bounce back a single map. Question will be is, can we take this through and actually do it a second time in a row and actually take us through to game 5? That's what we're looking to find out. Let's see what happens. We will get straight into game number 4 then. Pylon, to see whether this series is going to get stopped at the 4th game, or if Trigger will indeed turn it all the way around and take bring us to a game 5 ace match. In the top left-hand corner, the red Protoss Cristiana. 2-0 lead turns into a 2-1 advantage. We'll see if he can close this out still as he takes on the blue Protoss. In the bottom right corner of the map, it is Trigger, of course, representing Basilisk, of course, as well. Great team. As we look to get this involved right now. Do, 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 do. So we have ourselves a couple of assimilators coming up. The gateway is on the way. Probes in production, assimilators all building, and get settled down. Let's just have both those gateways coming down on the high ground from both players. 2 gateways each to start us off here on Pylon. interested. I mean, we haven't seen as much one-base kind of aggression in this PvP as we saw in the first PvP of the day, so maybe that's something we could still see some more of, perhaps. That's the probe. Comes out to the bottom. And we get set to go. We're just going to move up, trying to see what's going on. Probe will come over, and again, potential for some nibbles here or there. To take a few moments. Pylon will continue to come up. Get that going for now. The probe's going to nibble at each other. Just going to see the sentries on the way through. The next is coming up. Warp gate getting settled. We try and nibble at each other over here, but do not see too much success just yet. And that probe going to chase the other probe away for a few moments. Just going to turn that around. Next is building on the natural expansion here. Going to drop down a battery to go along with it. And these two adepts from Cristiana will make their way to the bottom right side of the map. So, to the bottom right we go. A little bit of a journey there initially. Both those adepts together will step toward the natural as they will shade. We have got a few sentries joining up on the natural. The adepts are going to shade to the main base, or at least they were trying to, but they get denied pretty quickly. Maybe a cancel on the pylon there. We will be having ourselves a Twilight Council in production right now. So the Twilight Council coming through the robotics facility. Coming up as well. The adepts will try and get there, but will not quite be able to just yet. Those adepts still trying to make their way across as the hallucination. Around the top side. Trying to find the chance to just, again, see what's going on. Blink starts. That robo from Cristiana, so he's going to be on not the blink, but instead just building that much more kind of strong fighting army that's going to be a little bit less mobile around the map, a little bit less present on the map, but if it can find a straight up fight, it's going to be able to pack a punch, because those immortals always do. But you're going to be susceptible to the blink stalkers. You know, there's going to be opportunities for Trigger to get damage done for sure. As the adepts get it over, a couple of probes already going down. Stalker sentry will run into the back, and those adepts will continue to take some hits. Again, blink coming up, batteries coming through. The few adepts will continue to chase down some probes over to the sides. Just try and shade after said probes for the moment as we go back across. Solid force field is going to block those adepts in. It's going to be easy goings. 7 probes is really not bad though, and so much lost mining time. Like right now, none of the workers are mining, so these adepts are absolutely huge. I mean, this is major damage for how early in the game it is as well, so that alone is a big deal. And on top of that, you can just see the situation, right? Plain and simple, it is just looking good for Cristiana. 14 supply advantage, 8 worker lead. Again, on top of those workers killed, it was all that lost mining time. Still probes here not mining because we're walling off the main ramp. And we're going to kill these adepts, but it's been an absolute disaster. Are we going to kill the adepts? They're going to make a run for it. We force field one in, but one may still get away. And oh no, during it all, Trigger messed up. He let the pylon finish, and because the pylon finishes, it means that obviously now you've actually got to take the time to kill the pylon. The adept shades, it's going to recall. My goodness, what a disaster for Trigger early on. That really could not have gone worse. As Blink finishes, he wants to be on the map. He wants to be taking advantage of the fact his opponent's not playing Blink. It's going to be rough, though. Like, he's going to have so few stalkers with all the lost warp-ins he's had here. And the delay on the attacking. I mean, there's just no hope for Trigger to do much on the other side. What can Trigger do right now? It's a tough question because, like, he's so reliant on the Blink stalkers doing well. I'm just afraid that he's not going to have enough Blink stalkers to be impactful. We're already talking about 3 immortals alive on the other side of the map against 7 stalkers. 2 more gates are finishing from Triggers. He will have additional warp-ins, but I think hitting that critical mass of stalkers is going to be so tough. And this is one of those times where, because it's a mirror match and so much was done early, the comeback potential is really, really limited. You basically just have to play for amazing trades off these Stalkers, but Cristiana knows the damage he did, so he's setting up to attack. So he's looking to basically make an attack where the Stalkers can't even be that efficient because they're not going to be given enough time to be that efficient either. As we get those extra gates up, Temple Archives coming through. On the left-hand side, the Hallucination is going to make a move around, head into the main base, and that's just going to, again, keep on trying to find information. The Prism taking a couple of nibbles. The Immortals are underneath, just going to hang around as well. Stalker Sentry going to make a move up toward the top. Just going to push straight over there. Again, the Archon coming by, charging the +1 coming online. We have Cristiana sitting defensively as the Stalker Sentry army gets ready to push. Archon just gets nuked. I mean, that's nice. So Trigger gets something done. Army supplies are similar, but these two armies are not the same. Like, in a straight-up fight, they just are not. And that's why these Stalkers need to do find value and find trades right now. And if this army of Cristiana ever walks across the map and forces a fight like on the natural of Trigger, it's over. And the fact that already now Trigger loses a bunch of stuff and goes down almost half the army supply is extremely concerning in itself as well. So this is just trouble as the Immortals, the Zealots continue through, the Sentries and the Archons coming across. Force Field will go down, will not be able to do too much. The Sentry's still taking damage. 2 more High Templar warping in. The Zealots are still coming through. It's going to keep on chasing. The Stalker's going the wrong way. And this is truly going to be Cristiana. I mean, a 30 supply right now. Got the Sentry. Just going to go after the Robo Facility. Just going to look to play cleanup. Zealot Immortal. Archon continues to push on by. Force Field gets crunched. Nexus getting picked away at. A couple of Archons will be there. We'll get the Nexus as well. Let's just have ourselves 5 batteries coming through. Robo Facility and the +1 coming up. Going to be seeing the 9 probes going down, 12 probes going down, 14, 18. Like I say, as soon as this fight happens on Trigger's natural, it's just not going to be good for him. It's not going to be pretty. Cristiana is going to play cleanup to take the 3-1 victory and keep himself alive. Moves into the top 8 of the OSC mid-season playoffs. And that leaves us with one match in the OSC mid-season playoffs today, which is going to be Cham versus Ryong. So that's going to be coming up for us next, guys. We're going to be heading into that TVZ in just a few moments. So Cham versus Ryong up next. I'm going to take a quick couple minutes break, step away from the PC for a second, stretch the legs out a little bit. But yeah, we've got one more match in the OSC mid-season playoffs, and then we'll move into some action from the Team League, from the Crank event. Perfect. Alrighty, guys. Appreciate y'all. I'll be back in just a few moments. More StarCraft 2 on the other side of this with some Terran versus Zerg. I'll see you guys in a moment. Welcome back, everybody, as we are heading to our final match of this OSC mid-season playoff stream. Like I say, we do have some Crank Team League coming up after as well. We might not get all 3 matches of the Crank League done that I wanted to, guys, but we will just see how the day is going, what's happening. For now, though, let's go into this next best of 5. Thank you for a little bit of patience during the break. And welcome back. As we're going to start on Hecate. Love this map. I mentioned it earlier when we saw it as well. We do have in the bottom left corner, it is going to be our red Terran player. It is Ryong. Up against the blue Zerg in the top right side, it is going to be Cham. So game 1 of the best of 5. CVT, I actually don't know where to place this one. I don't cast Cham a whole lot. To be straight up and simple about it, like Cham is not a player I get to, like I say, cast a whole lot of the time. So it'll be interesting to see how he goes. As we got a hatchery down right here, and the drone coming up, Braxton the gas coming through for a moment. SCV on the way. Just got ourselves settled early. So yeah, we just take a few moments and try and see where we're going. So gas coming online. Yeah, Ryong, I've always said Ryong's TVZ is sometimes his soft point in all of his matchups, but honestly, at the same time, what Ryong does well in TVZ, he does very well. Like, Ryong's such an interesting kind of level of player where, you know, I don't think anyone's going to disagree if I say he's not one of the top Koreans right now, you know, like, he's not one of the guys that's, you know, was qualifying to EWC and so on. But he can absolutely challenge those guys, and like you say, the thing that Ryong maybe lacks is the ability to kind of play a variety of things at kind of the same level. And so what he does well, like some of these earlier pressures, the 8 racks pushes, the big 3 bases in TVZ, he does really well. And so I think it's going to be really interesting, because if you're just good enough to do it at such a level where Cham can't stop it, even if he expects it coming, that would be... yeah. That'd be kind of a decent way to go about it. SCV going to patrol back and forth. Queen's Lings on the way out as we take a few moments. The command center, depot, marine coming through, and the early stages. So it's going to be that marine following this Reaper, which is coming across the map now to try and put some pressure on. Maybe get a couple of grabs in the early stages. Including a drone would be incredible. Ooh, got the shot before the hatchery came into play. And is going to deny the hatch for a few moments. That's annoying, because now you've got the money for a hatchery. Drone not in position. Getting another drone out is difficult, because the Reaper's going to camp out at the front. And at this stage, you probably just have to start spending your money elsewhere, but they just don't have the lava or the setup for it. Now we start up some more drones. Starts another queen. Yeah, that was not exactly ideal, to say the least, as we just have a couple lings going to step over toward the left side. But this time we will get the hatchery down at least, so the hatchery will start, but delayed from what you wanted. Nice little, just, again, interruption from Ryong in the early stages. Getting through, interrupting, slowing things down. The Starport is going to be on its way from Ryong, so going to get that Starport coming through. The barracks moves off to the side. A couple of Hellions just coming up on the factory. We'll see the Reaper hopping up and hopping down, trying to see what we can do. The link speed still building. Let's just see the extra drones building as well. So just getting those drones coming up. The Queen on the way. And the Reaper is heading down to the bottom left to try and potentially make something happen right here. So Reaper on a bit of a journey. Heading down this bottom side. A couple of Hellions coming up and online. SCVs are coming through. The Starport swaps over. Tech Lab builds on the barracks. We just settle ourselves with the Reaper Hellion at the front of the natural. It's a Banshee play from Ryong as well. I think Cham can be kind of seen as a bit of an aggressive player as well, right? So it wouldn't surprise me if Ryong plays a way that kind of keeps him safe early. You know, focusing on Banshee harassment, because then the Banshees can also be used defensively against any Roach plays and so on as well. Drones, the creep spread, sorry, still pressing out. Just getting a lot of that on the go still. Just gonna see those lings coming through. The Hellions just gonna poke up and turn around as well. Get back to the center. Yeah, a couple more shots. Queen just take a bit more damage. Still have a Banshee Marine, Cloak and Stim coming through. The extra barracks coming online, so just going to get that done. There's a few Hellions, and the Reaper will come across there, and again, just going to go to the left-hand side now and take a chance to get up toward that third base, just trying to make that move happen. A couple of barracks coming in, the engineering bay is on its way, and a couple of SCVs coming about as well. There's a lot of that coming through as the fourth hatch will start. On the side of Cham, is going to have the fourth hatchery start, the Queen stepping up, Reaper Hellion getting pushed away. Let's take some more hits. The Banshee going to fire. The Queen able to get some shots off. Just going to see the Hellions coming back over the other side. Baling Nest, Evolution Chambers continuing to come through right now. So just getting a lot of that on the way. Obviously seeing where Cham wants to take us in the next stage is going to be Ling Bay and Hydra for the foreseeable future. Ryong with the singular engineering bay kind of tells you a lot of what you need to know about him. 2 bases. And it's only going to be 2 bases. 1 engineering bay is a great indicator of that. Obviously, the 4th and the 5th racks are an even better indicator of that. So this is just swinging up to him being a 2-base kind of pushing Terran and pretty much all in Terran. You know, if you're just a 2-base player, then yeah, you're looking to be pretty aggressive, basically. +1 in combat shield coming through. The Banshee on the right side will deal a little bit more damage. Hatch taking a few more hits. The Hellions and the Reaper will move their way down to that bottom left-hand side. And again, we've got the Groove Spines coming up. The Lingers is on the way. The drones in production. Hellions start to go back the other direction right now as the, again, upgrades continue through. That's +1 and combat shield all on their way in. Getting the speed coming about. A couple of Hellions will start to clean up some of the creep spread here. Some creep getting taken out already. I'm just going to see our tank, medevac, marine force continue to produce on up. Combat shield and the +1 going to be a part of that as well. Let's just see the Feelings taking that opportunity to knock through a set of rocks over here. So just going to go work through this for a moment. As obviously opening up the map is never a bad thing. More ways to get units down a ramp quickly is only going to benefit you as the Zerg player, as the Hellions and the Marines do make their way toward a set of rocks here in the center. Just going to start napping our way through those, so a bit of damage being dealt. The tanks on the back will do some damage as well. And I'm just going to continue to punch our way through this set of rocks, opening up for some damage. The rocks getting opened. +1 combat shield on the way through. The rocks do go down. We head toward the upper right-hand side. A couple of the creep team is going to get picked away at very quickly. The Marines trying to split apart a little bit, and the tanks will siege. The Marines step through. Hatchery going to be in some trouble. Now we've got a couple of Danes going to try and make their way forward as well. Here come the Lings coming in from all angles. Siege tanks in the back. Going to get kind of jumped on as Ryong trying to run the hell away from this. I mean, he gets rid of most of the Banes, but the tanks are going to be broken. And if the tanks are gone, I think a lot of your longevity in this game is kind of gone as well, to be honest, because you just do not have much of a follow-up from this. You don't have a way to hold the position now. These few Marines might get something done, but the moment another wave of units is done from Cham, surely we're okay, right? Like, Banes... I mean, we do need the Banes to finish. A couple of them got targeted down there. There's only, what, 7 or 8 Banes available? Are these Marines truly going to be enough on their own? Threatening to run forward to the Ling. There's now more Banes coming up. I mean, Ryong still feels like he has to go. The longer this takes Cham to clean up, the more chance there is... Well, the longer it takes Ryong to clean up, the more chance there is Cham gets the units necessary to clear this out. We got 1 new siege tank here as Ryong. We're going to see Cham engaging in. He does have the creep spread to help speed up this process of attacking. Tank goes down. Again, there's a few Marines left over. Going to keep this neck and neck. What is about to happen is the upgrades from Cham are about to kick in. So he's finally going to be 1-1 against the 1-0, and that's going to help in some of these smaller number fights where upgrades really do have value to be had. You can see the Hydras right now as well. Just a few of those now protected by Ling. Starting to look a bit more comfortable here from Cham as the defense is still very close to happening, but so is the breakthrough. A couple of libs on the way up. Ryong starts +1 armor, thinking he might be able to keep this going for a while, but he's against a 75 drone Zerg. I don't know if he can keep this going for a while, but killing Hydras like that's definitely going to help. I mean, this hatchery is very close to going down as well. Is Cham okay losing a 4th base? He might just have to be. He has got a 5th to the right-hand side as well, which you can maybe go to. That's very separated, so he probably doesn't really want to mine from there because it's way too engageable for Ryong. I'm just trying to find a bit more pressure. Man, that tank is doing so much work. This one tank specifically has 7 kills on it. It's been amazing. Second tank there as well, obviously doing a lot. The Banelings. Oh, does manage to get that bottom Baneling through. I didn't think that was going to happen. So I actually didn't think any Banes are going to connect there, but getting some of these Marines low while the medevacs are super low on energy is a big deal. The libs are nice, but they're going to be pushed through easily because the Hydras are able to step underneath with the Banes getting through to knock the Marines back, and that might be all we need for Cham to get the defense. I think Ryong is running out of steam. He's not got the energy to keep on rehealing this and to keep it going. And I think after all is said and done, the defense is being made. Damn. Ooh, we were like on a razor's edge of Ryong kind of breaking through here, and there's moments where I was like, Cham, do you have any units left? Like the Hydras were dropping down dead, and it's like, oh god, he might not have this anymore, but it's just about fun. At this point now, it should be much more comfortable, because now you're not really forced to attack quickly. This kind of attack maybe gives Ryong more of a chance than anything else. It's still fine for Cham. I mean, he's also at a Hydra count now where it might just be he can always do way more damage up with the Hydras before they even get killed. There's that critical mass of Hydras, right, where they will just kill things before they die. If you have enough of them, and I think we're kind of reaching that critical mass now with that Hydra count getting up to, what, like nearly 20 Hydras on the field, so 18, so it's looking good there as well. Just gonna get the Lings and the Hydras open up some more rocks, and the crazy thing as well, this base survived. In the end of the day, killing this base probably doesn't change anything for Ryong. If you kill this base and you get cleaned up in the same way anyway, it just rebuilds. Because you're comfortably defended as Cham, you can mine from over here, so it would not have been really a long-term problem, I don't think. If you lose this base and Ryong's still holding position, it's scary, because then obviously you can work over here very easily, and then you really do have issues with where you maybe mine from. As Ryong goes, man, you can see the weakness of this is just like the one tank, right? Okay, there's a second in the back, but it's just Marines that are trying to get so much done for themselves. As Ryong is going to set up to come up this ramp once again. This is definitely his favorite position to push in. This time we're going to come in from all angles as Cham looks to make this a very different fight to what we saw last time out. And that's going to be GG from Ryong. Cham is going to come through and take game 1 of this best of 5 series. So Cham getting in for the first map victory, getting himself a W. And Cham is going to be up 1 in the best of 5. Alright, fun start with a little bit of ZVT right there, as we're going to set ourselves off into a second game right away, I think, guys. Let's get it done. We've actually banked up a good amount of ad time today, so we can just kind of dive straight into a game 2. After this, we might have to do some more ads and stuff, but right now we've got clear pathways, clear air in front of us. I don't know what I'm actually trying to say, I'm trying to say. Doesn't matter, let's just go in game. Let's just cast game 2. Sometimes I should just quit while I'm ahead, which is before I even start usually. Bottom right. Is going to be the red Terran player. It is going to be Vitality's Ryong. Just in the top left, our blue Zerg is going to be Cham. Game 2 of this best of 5 series lower bracket OSC mid-season playoffs. Low ground barracks, low ground double barracks. Some Reapers to start us off on this one. First match of the day? No. We are 3 hours in. This is our 4th best of 5. Had a couple PvPs and a PvT so far. I'd say Spirit Geralt was probably the highlight of the day thus far, although that was a very cool game 1 between Ryong and Cham, so maybe this series is going to keep up the hype and bring us a lot of excitement as well. Oh, no gas, by the way. Ooh, I just realized the 3rd barracks, and I'm also seeing the lack of gas in the main. So, I'm just presuming 2 racks Reaper because it's multiple racks on the low ground, but it's going to be 3 racks in the natural, no gases. Ooh, quite a build order. This is I'm just making presumptions. I don't think my presumptions are too far off from. I don't think it's that crazy to presume it's 2 racks Reaper. I just presumed the gas was already down, but it is not. So we're just gonna spam a lot of Marines early. And then what is our goal? To push across probably at some point with that Marine count. I mean, Cham is gonna be playing what, like it's gonna be like a 3-minute 40-second link speed, so maybe even close to 4. Yeah. He's gonna be on one of the later link speeds that you can kind of get, so it is, while still having the gas, so it does maybe have potential He killed his first Overlord as well. Cham gets supply blocked. And because he killed that first Overlord, Cham just sees 1 Rax at the front. Now, he saw, obviously, you know, enough Marines to probably know it's 2 Rax. But he doesn't know about Barracks 3, I don't think. For sure. That part, I think he's pretty in the dark about. And Ryong says, what if I add 2 more Barracks on top of that? So now we go to 5 Rax. And we're going to go for 5 Rax. I mean, do we pull the boys with this? Potentially, yes. 5 Rax Marine Shove. These few Marines are going to step on the map, and with link speed not done for another 40 seconds or so, then that should be pretty safe to do for the moment. And if I'm Cham, and if I was in this situation, I'd think, okay, he's doing like a funky thing, couple racks at the front, some Marine pressure, and he's just going to take the expand behind it and everything else. There's no world in which I think that he's still on 1 base here, right? So that makes this a little awkward, as these few lings are going to look for the dive by. Yes, let's hide those SCVs. He didn't see a lot of the Marines moving out on the map, so he's not necessarily fully aware. And yes, hiding those SCVs is big, as we are going to get those on the way. So Cham making a couple Overlords right now as he's supply blocked. He actually made a good amount of lings. Probably because he's like, well, if nothing else, maybe I can put some pressure on here. He's going to see now Marine count. He's going to see the SCVs. And I bet he's going to need to get himself some defense going. He saw 12 more lings. No Baneling Nest available, guys. So this is... Yeah, he pulled out a gas, so he's not even close to like a Baneling Nest. Reinforced Marines kind of getting picked off already. The SCVs in the front. Can this work? As we arrive on the natural here as Ryong. A couple of the lings going down very quickly to begin with. Just going to sit on this hatchery and kill the natural off. It's going to remove some of the production potential from this game, although... There's a 3rd hatch as well. You want to take the units if you can get the units. The lings get us around, but the Marines are going to sit in the corner and have the SCVs to tank one side of them. And then they're going to die. And then we look at this build order and say, huh? Was this the best case scenario for Ryong? Not necessarily. Cham made quite a few lings kind of blindly. Like, I think he just, like, he kind of presumed, like, he's only on 25 drones. He just made lings to apply pressure, and because he made lings to apply pressure, he's kind of just, yeah, ended up in kind of the right place, I guess. And now he's just gonna, now he obviously knows what's up, so he's gonna keep making lings, but the first round of lings, I think, is a fortunate choice, because I don't think there's any real reason for him to make that many lings. You know? And he really kept making lings too. Now he adds a few drones on as well, as the Marines continue to come up. And we are going to be seeing this army pressing to the top side. Just going to get 1 ling going down. He's going to try and counterattack as the Marines move up the right-hand side. Cham just trying to take advantage of where these units are or not. And the Marines and the SCVs just pulling back a couple moments. But this is feeling pretty doomed, right? Because at this point, Ryong is not going to have a good time trying to get across the other side. This is really looking very doomed. Interesting build. I actually kind of like... It did feel like it started very well. Like, he really denied this information. But Cham just played very safe, so... Yeah. Yeah. Alrighty. We're going to go to the top left. Marines, SCVs going over. We have some lings on the bottom. You can see the few Marines gathering up. The Marine SCV force to the upper left-hand side. We're just going to be jumping into this natural. Just going to see the lings looking to wrap around. And that, even with the Marines up against the wall, should be all they wrote for Ryong in Game 2. And Cham will take a comfortable 2-0 lead. Hey, Wardy, in Wikipedia it says there's a main event. Can we have more info about it? Is there an official page? Are you talking about because he qualified to the OSC champ? You mean like the OSC championship? Basically, the OSC championship is something that happens every January. So, for example, this is what last year's looked like. So, OSC is like a massive system where, you know, the mid-season playoffs are part of it and so on. It's been going on for years. You can see Pig, Gumiho, Solar, Björn, Neeb, Solar, Cure, Clam, Zest, Max Pax, Dark, all previous champions. But basically, it's a huge championship bracket, and you start, like, for example, Beyond and Dark started this last year really deep in the bracket because they had the most OSC points. So you get, like, or because they were, like, mid-season champions, I think, maybe the ones that get the best seeds now. Either way, basically, you get seeded in the bracket based on your OSC points, and your OSC points are determined by a ton of events throughout the year. And we play this mega bracket out that we cast every match of in January, usually, so... Yeah, so this one ended in February this year, but same idea. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's really cool. So that's going to be what happens again this year. If you go to the 13 page right now, it tells you a little bit about it and stuff. But the main thing to look at is the OSC. If you click this link, so OSCesports.com has all the info. And if you look at the OSC World Rankings, they partner with a ton of events. So you can see the rankings. So Hero is the top ranked player right now. He's earned 12,500 OSC points this year. Max Back's 10,000, 9.5. You know, basically all the best players because there's a lot of players partnered. But then you get to like rank 9 and you see like Shameless is rank 9 because he just plays a crap ton of tournaments. He's played 109 OSC events this year. Well, Bjorn's played 137, which is actually cracked. Percival played 138. Oh my god, Percival and Nicorect found one more than Bjorn. Yeah, but yeah, basically the OSC esports.com site has all the information about the OSC circuit, and it really is like a circuit at like a more community level that really encourages participation and taking part and just getting involved, basically. So, yeah, Cyril is ranked 47 because he won one OSC tournament. I wonder what that was. $3,800. What did Cyril win this year in OSC, I wonder? Something that was just partnered with him, but I can't think off the top of my head, so... Maybe like a big event or something. So yeah, yeah, OSC, they have loads of stuff. If you like storylines, it's a super cool thing to watch. They've got rankings about the King of the Hill. Yeah, like I say, it happens every year. It's very cool. It is very cool. I love OSC. They operate on a scope that is really kind of like, as a tournament organizer myself, is really kind of like cool to see. Like they organize, they run in like on like the big stage almost, if that makes sense. So yeah, it's very cool. So do check out OSCesports.com. It's a super fun circuit to follow. Like I say, they run a lot of their own events, the King of the Hills every week. You know, this mid-season playoffs happens twice a year. And then we also, like, for example, WardiTV Mondays are partnered with OSC. So every time a player plays a WardiTV Monday, they are earning OSC points, helping them to qualify to the OSC Championship at the end of the year as well. So it's very cool. It's very cool. Hi guys, I just started the ads after that talk, so give me a minute or so and we'll jump into Game 3 of Cham Ryong, as Cham is up 2-0 at the moment. Where's Cyril been? Cyril's playing stuff. I mean, he just doesn't play in smaller events, right? So, yeah, not really too surprising that he's been a little bit, I'll say absent, but like, I mean, he's been playing kind of the normal amount that Cyril plays, to be honest, so... Is there a minimum amount of OSC points to get into the tournament? That's a great question. How does it work? So, last year... So presuming it works the same way, basically, the OSC, the top 18 players are entered into the championship bracket based on their standings. The two mid-season playoff winners also start in the upper bracket as well, so that's a way to bypass the point system. And then the challenger brackets are players... They're not... I don't think that... I think they're open, actually, but they're limited to OSC Elite players. So basically, it's like top 18 on points, if I'm not mistaken. And if you're top 18 on points, start in the winner bracket, and the players that come through the challenger bracket, so if you don't get there on points, you can play in the challenger bracket, but then you can only possibly start in the lower bracket. So it's like a massive nerf to not qualify in on points, basically. But usually, like I say, because there's a lot of OSC points for just participating, you actually see a lot of cool players starting in the upper bracket that you might not have thought of, like the top 8 in the StarCraft 2, right? Because there's a lot of very small tournaments that offer OSC points as well, and that really adds up too, so yeah. That is my best understanding of it. Obviously, I don't run the tournament, so sometimes I'm not fully in the know, but I have to check Wikipedia for this info. Like, Wikipedia is pretty accurate, but hopefully I gave a good reading of it. Do I have any info about Mario? Seems to be underperforming. I mean, there's no big tournament coming up. Mario's probably not practicing a lot, you know? Like, players like Maru, Reynor, these guys really just kind of take it easy on the off-season, and then the closer you get to the biggest event of the year, they'll be better and better and better and better, and then they're really freaking good, and then they're unbeatable. So I imagine Maru's just kind of taking it easy, and you know, we're in the early stages of the off-season, essentially. Like, you know, this is true off-season. Like, maybe start of next year, he'll pick it up again a bit and get practiced. That'd be my best guess. I have nothing more info than that. So yeah. What's up, Fabrizi? Thank you so much for the 14-month resub as well. Thank you for supporting and resubscribing. As we have in the top right corner, the red Terran player. This is going to be from Vitality. It is Ryong. In the bottom left, our blue Zerg is Cham, as he has a 2-0 lead, defending the 2 base 5 racks, defending the 1 base 5 racks. He defended 2 5 racks, but in very different manners of speaking. As, yeah, the one was the 2 base, kind of the expected 5 racks, and the other was the 1 base, very unexpected 5 racks, marine only push, so, yeah. You afraid he's having a wrist or shoulder injury? I mean, we know Maru has like a long-term shoulder injury, which is probably why he doesn't stay practiced as heavily outside of the build-up to bigger events, right? When there's a lot of events on as well, Maru will be very particular about what he plays in, because, yeah, he really limits how much he plays, I think, based on his shoulder. Again, that's somewhat speculation, and also, you know, that's me basically compiling info I gather from multiple sources and over time, so please don't take that as gospel or quote, but yeah, I'd say it's a little bit like that. So, from what I understand of it, but I may not be completely accurate. Reaper comes across the left-hand side. The Overlord settling down, as we do have the few Zerglings looking for the chance to get onto the Reaper here, but not going to find too much opportunity just yet. It's a little bit of back and forth as we have the Link Speed, the Queens coming through, Factory and the Reactor coming up. The Command Center will build, the SCV on the way, and we just have the SCV returning back as a couple Marines gather up on the Natural as well. Be seeing the hatch coming down. There's a couple of Overlords coming through, Link Speed coming about. So have ourselves the CC and the Orbital coming online. The Hellions will build. As we have our Overlord around on the bottom. Third hatch setting up. Take a moment or two. And give me just 1 second, guys. Sorry, guys. just have ourselves the second factory on the way. Oh. Mech time. That's not a second factory, it's a third factory. So we're going to play some mech here as Ryong. Here in this game 3. Let's have ourselves the Queens on the way, a few drones on the way. Factory swaps over to make it the triple factory, and the Reaper and the Hellions will join up together. Let's just have ourselves the SCV setting up, and again, a couple units into the center also. Taking position for a moment or two. Reaper coming over, hitting the Ling. Pushing it back over that right-hand side. Units joined together, a couple of Hellions and the Reaper gathering through right now. Just see our activate accelerator coming through, a couple extra Cyclones continuing to build up as you just have the Hellions and the Reaper down on the bottom. That Bane Nest and left will both finish shortly. Get the drones on the way over, a couple of spores coming by. Has Maru ever played against Clem's Protoss? No, I don't think so. I don't think Maru and Clem have played in the last year since Clem went full-time PvT. They didn't meet at Dallas, they didn't meet at EWC. Maru doesn't really play online tournaments. Tunnel pre-igniter, mag field coming up. Just going to get our Cyclones still producing through. We got one depot into the back there. There's going to be this Overseer morphing in at the front. Just going to see that taking a couple of nibbles. We'll have ourselves the Overseer stepping through to the natural in the next couple of moments as the Baneling speed comes up. Extra Banes in production, 14 Lings coming through. As we do have an army of Ryong heading to the bottom left. Hellion Cyclone will take a chance to dive into this position, and we are going to go straight to that mineral line. So Cham's preparation for this is minimal, to say the least. Like, he has got no idea this is mech right now. He's got Ling Bane. Like, he starts the roach roaring now as he sees this. Ling Bane Hyder can do okay to some extent, but you just need units, and right now he just doesn't have units. Do we get rid of enough of the Hellions? No, not really. I mean, there's a bunch of Hellions still left. I was thinking, do we get rid of enough Hellions that maybe reinforcing Lings can play cleanup on the Cyclones? Answer is no, absolutely not. And it looks as though Ryong is going to come through and yeah, looks as though Ryong's going to come through and absolutely stomp in this game 3. So talk about getting back on track, talking about getting back into line here. Cham is completely underprepared and is going to be getting picked off on this one. As the Cyclones, the Hellions continue to come through. Hydra's going down. We've seen the army still pushing toward the natural expansion as the 11 additional Hydras coming up. The drones are going to try and pull in. 3 more drones still dropping. The Hydra's going down as well. A couple of Zerglings getting picked away at. Obviously, Blue Flame is very good in this scenario as well, and that's going to be GG's. Ryong takes a map, and means that this series will stay alive for at least a little while longer. Alright, well, we will just go straight into our next game, guys. A faster one. Let's just go into the next one quickly, which means we are going to go into what is Golden Aura for this map 4 now. So Golden Aura for 4th map of this matchup. Let's get this in game and started off. In the bottom right hand side, the red Terran player bringing it back a map and keeping our series up and running. It's going to be Ryong, and he takes on the blue Zerg. In the top left hand corner, it is Cham, as we get into game number 4 of the best of 5. Alright, hope everyone's doing well. Again, thanks for joining us. Appreciate you all being here. And being here for some StarCraft with us. It's been some good fun so far. Let's just take a couple moments, couple drones in the hatchery coming through, getting settled for a few moments. Tractor going down. Again, the barracks coming through, hatch gas, and soon a spawning pool from Cham. As like I say, we get settled down Golden Aura for a little bit of time here right now. Overlord will go to the bottom corner. So just on a little bit of a journey. Reaper and the Orbital coming up initially. The SCV just going to head to that upper left-hand side. So actually just settling down on the natural. The CC building up. Drone will move. And the Reaper is about to finish, which will give us our first real bit of action here. Outside of, well, just the SCV patrolling. Reaper on a journey. Away we go. And Reaper coming straight up here. CC in the factory coming over. Just going to see the grenade going down. The drone will take some damage. And a couple of Zerglings will go in after the Reaper, which will hop up to the high ground. So, just going to hop straight there. Ganlings and Queens on the way up. The hatchery in production. Our command center and our factory, our reactor, all building their way through. Getting a lot of that set up right now. As this Reaper continues to put some damage out. And the drone, that's a little spore crawler into cancel. Wonder if Ryong's going to obviously played mech in the last game for a very short amount of time while he killed his opponent with the first push. Wonder if he maybe plays mech for a longer game here, potentially. And Linkspeed is building, the drone's on the way, we're getting that Queen added on, hatchery still building up, reactor coming through with the starport in production, command center on the way for now. Queen's just going to be there, now Reaper gets turned as we just have the grenade going down. The Queens are going to take the grenade. It's going to get bopped. And the Reaper gets turned back the other direction. So Starport's still moving through. A couple of Hellions are going to be there. This Reaper is escaping down to the bottom right-hand side. It's just escaping out for the moment. And a couple Hellions join up. Everything gathering on the natural. And the lair, link speed, and the rest of it all coming through at the moment. We're going to try coming through with those couple of Hellions. It's going to be joining together as we do have our lair and drones all building up. Got the Banshee and the Cloak on the way. And leaves the options open really for what Ryong does here. It's obviously a good setup to play into bio from, but it could just also be some mech after as well. So nothing told just yet. Maybe we'd start to expect to see these gases soon if it was mech. We're not seeing them yet, so maybe this does suggest bio. The stim is going to double down on that. It's starting to look like a very typical bio 3cc, wasn't it? But I was just thinking, just because of how that game number 3 went, he obviously thought about playing the mech, but he obviously did play the mech, and just like I say, it ended quickly. So then he didn't even really get to test the mech out properly kind of deeper in the game, but I can't imagine his whole plan was just to win with one little mech push, so maybe expected a little more. So get this going. It says live, but that was like the fastest game-to-game transition you've ever seen on a live. Live casting, these are replayed games. So these games were played a few days ago. The OSC mid-season playoffs is the entire bracket is cast from replays. We never have it live. Maybe the final day gets played live, but that's just the way that this tournament works because it's a massive bracket played over a month or so. The players essentially play at their own schedule or their own pacing. It just makes it very accessible to everyone to take part. You've got players playing from across the world, so yeah. These are replays, but we're casting live, and this is the official cast. These games have not been seen anywhere before, so it's still like the first broadcast of them, so the only thing that's not truly live is obviously the players playing the games in this moment. Like I said, it's a rare day where everything we cast today is going to be replays, so yeah. Sometimes it be like that. A lot of what you see on the channel absolutely is live. But yeah, you're not wrong. That it was a fast, game 1 into game 2 for sure. Or game 3 into game 4, I should say. We've got the 1-1 upgrades in the stim coming through. The few meters are coming up as well. So we get 8 of those on the way out. The Baneling Nest is going to finish very shortly. Did Ryong see the Spire? Great question. Did Ryong see the Spire? No. He does not know about it. So he does not see the meters coming in quickly here. more upgrades. Combat shield coming over. The Mutalisks will make their way over to that right-hand side. He's actually going to get some decent damage done initially. Sadly, no game hearts. We don't see where it gets killed on the side of the screen, but 6 SCVs going down. Not bad at all. To start us out with, the Mutas obviously gathering in good numbers as Ryong steps through. A few of the Marines stepping over. He's just going to get pushed about as the depots will take some damage. He's going to stand there. A couple of those Mutas beginning to go down already. Just going to keep diving through. Extra Marines showing up. Now the Muta's going to go the other way, and they're actually going to go after a couple of the Hellions there as well. Missile turrets to shoot at the Mutas, trying to push them back out into the center of the map, and that's where they go for the moment. Mutalisks, Lings, +1 flyer attack, and the bailing speed continue to come around. The Marines, it's going to sit here. The Mutas go for a dive toward the Hellions, just again trying to find openers. 20 meters on the map right now, so a big commitment to these. Obviously, you're delaying upgrades massively. There's no 1-1 on the way at all here for Cham. So he's actually almost kind of all in, right? 63 drones. He's not droning up. Right now he could have 80 drones in Evo chambers. Instead, he's got 63 drones and Ling Bane Muta ready to attack. So he wants to fight. He wants to try and take this momentum and just say, I believe I can overwhelm you right here and now. He's not going to go right here and now, though, because he actually fell back to the Ling Bane. But he's still just making Lings. And again, he is on a point where he could absolutely drone further, expand, and just set up for the future. He's not. He's looking to win this, like I say, very soon. The longer you wait, the weirder this obviously would become. He's got nothing. The only benefit he's got coming up is +1 flyer attack. So unless he just wants to be as far along as possible supply-wise. But honestly, like, Ryong is an 8 racks Terran player, so he has a crap ton of units on the way out. So you're just giving Ryong the chance to build up a load of stuff here as well. Marine Hellbat tank starting to go to the upper left-hand side. Going to get up onto the creep spread. Going to see the rocks taking some damage. And just going to be pushing our way through onto this creep and pushing our way into this. A couple of Banes going down. The Ling Bane trying to come across. Oh, that tank set up nicely. It's funny because now Ryong actually pushed into a... Like, they're both playing the aggressive variation of their builds. Like, Ryong is obviously A-Raxing, but then Cham is not playing for a long game, so, like, it was good for Cham here, but Ryong, if he sat back, I think it would have been better for him, because he would have just been able to continue into 2-2, and you could have a late 4th base or so. The things that Cham is cutting to kind of make this commitment right now is much more difficult to transition through from. We do now see Evos and drones, though, so he's actually going to start setting himself up after that defense against the 8 racks. What a weird situation. Like, yeah, it was a very easy defense for Cham, but, like, it should be because, like I say, he's done nothing but set up to play aggressively himself. He backed away from it. I mean, maybe Cham couldn't commit aggressively into Ryong's 8 racks, but then why didn't he add on some Evo chambers at the very least sooner? I can understand maybe you're afraid of adding drones because you feel like you're maybe going to need units to deal with the attack soon, but, like, at the very least start working on Evo chambers, because not having upgrades is something that's not just going to affect you now. Not having upgrades is going to affect you the whole game. Like, now you're permanently behind by a significant portion. There's going to be a period of the game you're 0-0 versus 2-2. And then there's going to be a significant portion of the game where at the very least you're 1-1 against 2-2. Like, you're going to be behind so much. Probably then 1-1 versus 3-3 for a while as well, potentially, depending on how quickly both sides start 2-2 and how quickly 3-3 comes in from the Terran's point of view. Crazy business. Absolute crazy business. Muta's moving around the right. Creep into the center. Could creep all around the center, actually. So the Thorn, the Marauders coming up. +1 vehicle weapons coming online as well as more upgrades. Fire Carapace coming up. The Mutalisks are going to make a dive down. The Marines will shoot. Medevac goes down already. So you've seen the Marines and the Thor will be right there to push the Muta back to the other side. The rest of the Marines coming across, chasing those Mutas for the moment. Ready to maybe make a bit of a dive on toward this group of Mutas. There's another upgrade still coming about. +1 flyer carapace. Fire wanting to kind of shove up. We are going to be seeing the Ling Bane coming through. Fire going to have a big stim. Obviously off creep, this is a nice fight. The Thor getting onto the Mutalisks as well. Muta's taking a lot of damage. And off creep, the split on these Marines is going to be plenty to deal with the Banes. That's a big fight for Ryong. He takes down so much. It's never good as a Zerg when you're retreating. You still have Banes alive, because that means you knew it was a bad fight at the end for you. Like, you didn't even bother trying to use the rest of your Banelings. That's how badly this ended up for him. So, runs away, keeps some Banes alive. Going to try and come through here, but this high ground to low ground position is going to be nigh on impossible to break. This 5th hatchery will go down, and Ryong is going to reduce this to 4 bases versus very soon 4 bases as his 4th drops into place. And that in position already, as we now see more Lings, more Mutas coming down that right side. Going to counterattack the 3rd, which is open, but there's bio units there. They hit their own refinery for a second, but nothing that can't be undone. The main army still running around in the center of the map, pretty haphazardly. Like, you know, any sort of burrowed Banelings or something here. Not that I think Cham's had much of a chance to get to that, but could be really deadly. I mean, now not so much as we started scanning everywhere, but we're just kind of crossing the map without really looking, so a little bit reckless, but I think in this case you're not going to get punished for it, as now the biostims across to the right and positions to maybe go in toward the Lingbane Hydra. Sorry, the Lingbane Muta force right here. Actually cancels those Banes. Cham is afraid that they are not going to get to finish with the Terran army approaching, so cancels them up, pulls back, builds them a bit further away rather than getting cancelled closer to the fight happening. Yeah, obviously Ryong does trade well as well. 8.2 to 13.5k resources lost in his favor, and again, obviously equal base count right now does not exactly mean that just doesn't bode well for the Zerg. The one scary thing is that Mutas, I feel like, always have the potential to draw a game out or attack us elsewhere, and to overwhelm armies, but honestly this Ryong army is massive, because he's maxed out, right? And that's sometimes, or oftentimes this is not the case. Getting across the map maxed out without the threat of a counterattack hitting your bases is pretty rare against Lingbane Mutas, so in that regard, Ryong is just in a very happy, cozy place, and has got to be feeling pretty darn good about things for the moment. A couple drones going down, the Banelings trying to crash through. Onto these Marines, the Marauders are going to pull back, the Mutas are still chasing. Banelings getting through for a little bit more damage. A few Marines taking some shots, going to turn again, another Muta going down. Just keeps going. As we see the +2 vehicle weapons coming online, the upgrades will continue across. Infestation pit building here from Cham, as Ryong regathers into the center of the map. So Ryong resets to the middle. Again, hard to really expect this to go away from him right now. I mean, to be fair, the supplies are still even-ish. It's just I mean, okay, we're getting to the point where the Zerg economy's better. 2-2 upgrades are about to finish. There's going to be 3-3 against 2-2 now, rather than a double upgrade deficit. It's not good for Cham. There's maybe a world where, like, you can somewhat make this be okay. If you can take a couple of good fights here. Attacking up this ramp is not it. It was not it earlier. This time he feels like he has to attack up there. All the Mutas die to the Thor and the Marines. Banelings get some okay connections, but there's not enough Banes to go through everything. This is a very convincing fight from Ryong. Yeah. If there's going to be a fight that does it, it has to be in an open space, you know, attacking from all angles. Just things that obviously do not end up happening at all here. GG is called. Cham taps. Ryong advances to 2-2. And we get a reverse sweep potential as we now get, like I say, tied 2-2. So we're a map away from Ryong reverse sweeping. But obviously Cham can still take it in this 5th game as well. It's going to be Ancient System for the final map, which is a pretty good Zergy map, to be honest. So interested to see what Ryong has planned. It's also a good kind of 8-racks map, though. So Ryong is maybe picking this map based on his strength, but if it doesn't go well, it's going to be hard to recover from. Some big maps here at the end. Golden Aura into Ancient is a very interesting map 4, map 5 situation, actually. 3 of the extended map pool being used in this series, actually, is very cool. Hecate map 1, Golden map 4, Ancient map 5. Very interesting. Alright, guys, we'll give it a minute or so. As we just give a moment, and we'll go into 5th map of this series and round out our OSC mid-season playoffs for the day. Get that ready to rumble. Bum bum. Bum bum bum. Alright, we'll take a couple seconds, guys. Like I said, just give us some ads some time to do that thing. Make some money for the stream today. It does help. A major part of why we're able to run the tournaments that we run and everything, so get your patience with them. I think we're good now to go into our 5th game. Let's go. Some fungals would have been so good. You can't get fungals while playing Ling Baymuta. It's not from the position Cham was in. Like, you're asking for him to basically die before he gets there because it's such a turn of events. Like, to be fair, like, maybe in this case he could have done because realistically Cham did not play Ling Baymuta as he played Ling Baymuta, but Ling Baymuta is meant to be on the map trading and all the rest. Maybe in this case he could have gone for it, but he would have been significantly weaker while investing into them. And maybe, obviously, if Ryong does not, you know, if Ryong just walks into fungals, then it's worthwhile, but then there's no promise of that happening either, right? So if Ryong then actually just plays well against the Infestors, you've completely halted any chance of kind of momentum and aggression that you had in order to build units which Ryong splits from, and then it's like, oh. Yeah, it was tough. Cham was behind because it was such a weird clash of builds. Like I say, Arax versus the essentially a Ling Baymuta all-in. And then because Cham took so long to finally decide to step out of his all-in, he's so far behind on upgrades. The efficiency is going to be insane from Ryong. Honestly, maybe Infestors would have been a better call. Like, because you're in a pretty terrible spot. Maybe actually rolling the dice and just saying, screw it. You know, I'm in a bad spot. Let's just try and get to something which I'm not meant to be able to get to. And just hoping that it works. Because I think continuing with Ling Baymuta in that game, it gave you the numbers to take fights. But you were never winning any of the fights, right? You know, like, you're not meant to be able to run around the map as the Terran player playing against Ling Baymuta. Like I mentioned at one point, he was kind of running around the map recklessly. I mentioned Burrowed Banes, but just Ling Baymuta in general is meant to be able to deal with that kind of play. You know? Ling Baymuta gives you so much control as the Zerg, and there was just no control from Cham in that previous map, so... Interesting stuff as we have the SCV heading to the bottom left. We'll go to Scout and just check that this is not a pool first or anything, so that's the main confirmation you get here. And you can maybe use that SCV to block a hatch location, maybe force the third hatch into a preferable location for you as the Terran player. Let's have our little bit of movement going on for the moment. Alright, SCV moving about on the bottom side. We're going to see the Reaper coming in, looking after a couple of drones initially. Ling's going to come through. Reaper going to get chased. And we just have Cham and Ryong settling down as the Reaper. We'll move about. It's going to jump onto the hatchery here. Hatchery going to take some damage. The CC's building up for the moment. And we get ourselves up and into play. Again, hatch drones all coming through. Let's see how Ling's Speed and that Queen coming about as we just have that Reaper moving into the middle. Continues across, just going to take a moment or two. Just going to be seeing the Link Speed coming around, a couple Hellions in the factory coming up. Command Center building into the main base for the moment. It's just going to get that all a rumbling. Link Speed coming about, a couple Queens and drones all coming through. Getting set up initially. As we just take a second to get established. The factory coming about, it's about halfway done. And you can send them morphing into the orbital, and just going to be seeing, obviously, the mech going to be the choice from Ryong here for Ancient Cistern, coming all the way down to this game 5. I'm just going to see how Link Speed is on the way up as well. So kind of Link Speed finished up on the spawning pool, and a couple of Hellions and the Reaper coming around the left side there initially. Again, Magfield building. Cyclone producing. Hellion on the way out. Rack's going to swap off the tech lab. Factory going to drop to the tech lab. Another Roach on the left, both coming up. And a couple of Overlords and Drones all producing through also. And a couple of Hellions in the Reaper. I'm just going to go back around into the right side as we take a chance to move about for a little bit of time. Nothing too crazy. The couple Cyclones building into play at the moment as the Hellions continue to gather. The SCV's on the way through. And yeah, the Evolution Chambers will come up as well. So again, those Evos building. The Spores on the way out. And gathering to the top side for the next couple of moments here. Back up to the top. One missile upgrades both building through. Again, that Cyclone upgrade and the Blue Flame. Outside of that, I mean, a few Queens gathered together. Again, the upgrades continue through. Roach is producing. Hellions and Cyclones already pushing around to the bottom. Block, and after the Overlord, a couple of Futurements will go down. The Queens will be there. Again, the Cyclones will do a bit more damage. You can see that Roach taking a few more hits as well. Queens absolutely still pushing their way into this. And the Reaper and the Hellions get turned away already. Damage still being done. The Queens still getting some more shots off. The Roaches and Queens together, they're going to help to push those Cyclones out. On the other side, the Lings get a wrap around, and the Hellions already taking some damage as well. Cyclones continuing through, Hellions joining together. Again, Roach Ravager coming up as we speak. Two more factories on the way in from Ryong right now. And get those upgrades all building. The Overlord's coming up. Infestation Pit will be on its way. It's just getting that started as well. Hatchery coming through too. Double Armory on the way out for the moment. We do have our Hellions going to take the chance to jump onto this Hatchery. So Hatchery taking some damage. Nothing too major. Cyclones would have been much better, actually getting a kill on it. As the right side will be pushed away. Two Hellions leap themselves into the main. Can they get through for damage? So much potential, but nothing comes of it. Cham playing into the Roaches this time around, so with the run 1 missile upgrade, it's going to be way better set to play a longer game against the mech here on Ancient Cistern. As the Roach Ravager comes through, the Cyclones go the other direction. 8 more drones building as we speak. This Hatchery settles on the far left-hand side. We will have a 4th base down from Ryong in the center. I'm just going to be seeing our Swarm Hosts building. Oh. Cham. Going to use the hosts to try and trade efficiently against this mech army and take control here. I like it. I was not really thinking about the fact that we might see Swarm Hosts as the answer, but hell yeah, we are doing it apparently. Okay. I'm into it. Honestly, I'm into it. Cool stuff. Barracks coming through. A couple of upgrades still coming about. That Roach speed, obviously a big part of this as well. It's just getting that online as the Ling Roach takes a chance to knock down a couple of rocks over here. It's just opening up this portion of the map already. Again, vehicle weapons and plating coming through. The tanks and the Hellions are online shortly. Gonna see that Ling Roach Ravager going to start stepping over. The Cyclones stepping forward as well. A couple of Lings will begin to go down. The army on the left side will gather, and we just have ourselves a couple of Ravagers morphing right here. Actually going to catch some of these Swarm Hosts early, so Cham going to lose 3 Swarm Hosts. Wow, honestly, we kept a Cyclone in range. Could have been a 4th, so we got a bunch of Swarm Host kills, but it's actually going to cost you some of the Cyclones from Ryong. But I mean, at least he knows the Swarm Hosts are coming, so the preparations can be made. Step forward here, a couple tanks siege up, missile turrets will settle. And Roach Ravager on the right side, the Swarm Host there as well, continue to step over. Having that Hive coming through, the Lings are going to step up. Just going to see more Swarm Hosts looking to poke up the front as well, going to drop down around those Swarm Hosts right now, so put that straight into place. as it jumps straight over. For now, just going to see a couple of those Broodlings getting knocked down as well. The Ling Roach Ravager going to be there once again as the Hellbats take some damage. The Bane Speed, the 2-2 upgrades all coming about. Again, Ravager's coming through, Hive on the way. A lot of good stuff on the way right now as we see the Ravagers taking a few more shots just for the moment. And Hive finishing very soon. The Ravagers on that right side going to come in, going to go in after the command center here. Bam, 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 bam. He takes a lot of shots. So CC taking a lot of hits. Swarmhost going to drop those Locusts out and just going to try and get them in toward the Hellion Cyclone. Now we're going to be obviously a decent target, but so is the building CC. Trying to keep Ryong off of 5th base. Or even from a replacement 4th if we can deny this one over here. Tanks spreading out to try to do that thing. Ravager's actually able to kind of really walk up and do well there. Now we see the Cyclones catching. We'll actually get rid of a few Ravagers. Not cheap units. Not fun to lose out on those. And does, like I say, cost you a little bit to replace us. Now we have some Bane stepping forward. Bane speed done soon. A lot of busting potential on this army of Cham, right? Like a lot of like very quick firepower units that are going to be very powerful, I'd imagine, overall. Alien Cyclone goes to the left side. The barracks floats. The spine crawlers will build. And Soulhost still taking some damage. Hellbats and the Cyclones over that right side. And it's going to be seeing a couple of Ravagers still dropping through for the moment. A couple more shots coming about for now. As you see those Cyclones and Hellions continue to go across and just chase the Roach Ravager down for the moment. Hellions stepping by. And a couple Banes stepping forward as well. So again, really looking to try and see if there's anything else we can do here right now. The extra Ravager's still morphing. The couple Infestors coming out. And I like why Cham's out, honestly. He's got good pressure on the map. He's taken himself a 6th base. He's really overtaken the map and just in general. Do you not feel as though the Cyclones are doing super well, although this is nice. Swarmhost Locust dropping early. Honestly, the Roach Ravager are doing great so far. I mean, like, these are attacking in successfully without the Swarmhost even being that impactful. Like, the Swarmhost honestly have been very disappointing, really, I guess. I really thought so much more was going to come from those throughout this, but it's just not being the case. As the orbital command will get biled into oblivion and will fall. The Hellions going to be there. The Hellions going down. The rest of this army pulling back down the bottom right for the moment. Ravager's going to bounce side to side. We do see a whole bunch of extra Banelings coming up. So Bane's coming through. Ravagers and the Infested coming online. Hellion Cyclone in production. Still just trying to rebuild, but without a 4th base, it's going to get tougher and tougher here for Ryong. In this base on the left side, no! The 100% CC gets cancelled. Okay, and Sense Tower goes down. Depot's going down. The Stormhost Locusts are not being dealt with. And now we're going to have another push in from the right-hand side here. We even have some Infestors right now. Not sure what they're going to get up to, but here they're going to drop a little bit of a fungal. Stop units moving away from Biles. I think Ryong is just dead, guys. Like, no base over here anymore, so that died. So we're just a 2-base Terran. We do not have income. And Cham, after being up 2-0, bring it back and brought back to 2-2. Looks as though he might just have the finishing dunk on this best of 5. Knocking the mech of Ryong down and out in this series. Ten more Banes coming through on the right side. The Cyclones are going to lock on. The Stormers take a bunch of damage. A few of them going down already. Locust trying to drop into play. We do have the Medivacs just going to be right there and pulling back over. Roach Bane coming across. The Ling's going to go after the SCVs. We got to get rid of this army, which maybe if you got the Swarmhost, you just have one big wave of things and it's just going to be okay. Currently piling down an orbital is not going to kill it, but it's going to get close, and that's the main base that's being fired upon, so it's really kind of a doomed situation, it feels like, right now for Ryong. Like, he is really not in a pretty place at all. He's trying to push forward. I mean, Ryong basically has this one army to win the game with, so obviously he has to take it across the map. He has to push in toward the Zerg. He has to try and get something done over here, but it is just not really looking pretty. Spire on the way, +3 and +2. lots of stuff. I mean, like, again, kind of pick your poison and pick your way to die right now. It's very, very difficult for our... it's very, very difficult for our Talon player right now. Shroud, you wanting to move through. Just the Cyclones taking some damage. I'm just going to see the Swarmhost going to drop on down. I mean, dropping down on siege tanks doesn't seem fun. The rest of the army builds in. That infested corpse dived into that army. As you do see obviously the Corrosive Bowels there knocking down the tanks, and Ryong maybe on a last stand with these Cyclones. GG gets called, and Cham is going to take the win 3-2 and advance through the lower bracket of the OSC mid-season playoffs into the top 12. This match was one match behind all the other matches we saw today, so this moves him into top 12. He will play, I believe it's Percival, to determine whether he moves into the top 8. So it'll be more ZVT for Cham up next. I'm trying to confirm, but I'm not doing a good job of it right now. There we go. It is, yeah, Cham versus Percival next round of that lower bracket. So you've basically got Max Pack Solo in the winner bracket, Harstem versus Spirit in the lower bracket, and Cham versus Percival, winner of that versus Cristiana in the lower bracket as well. Q and Bjorn also in the lower bracket as well, waiting for opponents. So that's where the OSC mid-season playoffs will sit at, with what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 matches left to be played. So maybe like 2 more streams, maybe even like 5 and a 4 or something. Yeah, it's getting close to being done. So exciting stuff there, guys. I'm gonna take a couple minutes. The plan is to do some Crank Team League match, but let me just go check on some stuff. Yeah, let me check on some stuff. I'll come back and we'll see if we're gonna do some Crank League. I'll be right back and give you an update. Hello guys. So I'm actually not going to do anything else today. I just gotta go take Ali out and stuff. She's Helen's not feeling super good today, so I'm just gonna go take over adult duties and take Ellie out. So I'm sorry, we're gonna obviously fall a bit further behind in the Crank League. What we'll probably do, looking at my schedule, is next week. I think we have a lot of days where we can do the Crank tournament because we're doing like qualifiers and stuff. So like it's probably gonna be some shorter days. I don't have anything on like Thursday, and I'm gonna have to like play around with that day anyway because I have a hospital appointment. So I think what we're gonna do is, we're gonna call it a day today. I'm gonna catch up on Crank League next week, and we're just gonna have some days where we blast through like a ton of those games. So yeah, just instead of just because that just replays, like we fall one day behind. So apologies for that, guys. Like I said, I was expecting to go a bit longer today, but I think it's just best to go and sort life out sometimes, you know? There's the beauty of what I do, and especially on a day where we're just casting replays, we can be a little bit maneuverable with what we set up to do and stuff as well. So, thanks for understanding. I'm going to leave you guys right there because I don't have any ads to play because we just played the ads, so I'll just send you guys over to a host on Twitch, and I'll send you guys to nowhere, basically, on YouTube. So, yeah. Appreciate you all. And I'll host you guys to Lambo, and I will see you guys, like I said, tomorrow for the WardiTV October.
It's good.
Yeah, I will see you guys tomorrow for WardiTV October playoffs. Bye.